on the docket, and I can't wait to see what these quarterbacks bring to the table. Um, I'm looking forward to see David Tender this week and seeing if that dual threat quarterback thing they have on the Watchmen will throw the animals off a little bit.
And if people haven't seen the Baltimore Watchmen before here in the A7FL, they are a force to be reckoned with offensively and defensively. But you talked about that two quarterback setup, Rob. When you talk about everything going on in the A7FL, how is it that we can walk into today with what we have? Give me a little bit of background on that two quarterback system. Oh, Rob, we're about to throw off here, so we'll get back to you in 1 second. And that will be a live ball. And that'll be returned by number 8 of the Animals. He tries to get past. That's Omari Thomas. Omari Thomas will be brought down inside the 20-yard line, which if this was the fourth quarter, that would equate to a turnover. But Rob, right here, right now, it is a chance for the Silk City Animals on offense and that quality returner, David Tender, to make something happen here tonight in our first game of the afternoon. Yeah, the Animals jerseys today are awesome, Rob. Right here on the A7FL Games of the Week. You're going to give me 1 second here, working through some of these technical difficulties. Tender behind center. And he will be pushed back behind the line on the first play of the game, and that will be a second down for Silk City.
I don't think that's Quani Morgan, nor do I think the offensive line got a push. And the Watchmen's defensive line has been one of the best in the last few seasons.
It certainly has. And Rob, as we take a look at all this matchup here today with the Animals, we move forward, second down after the breakdown. And when we look ahead for this matchup today, we've got big games all across the A7FL. We're so glad you are spending time with us here on the Games of the Week. I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside Big Rob Fabian, as we are live here on the A7FL Games of the Week. And Rob, as we look ahead into this matchup today, a lot of interesting developments, a lot of interesting opportunities. And when we see David Tender on the field, it is always a big opportunity, always a happening. And what do you think is going to be the option here? Tender gets met, flag on the play on that handoff to Liberty, and it might have been a jump the line situation from the Baltimore Watchmen.
I mean, quite possibly, but the issue I'm having right now is that offensive line, who I was praising all last week, is not getting the proper push. I think they're getting a little bit overwhelmed. Not to mention the running back there is not, in fact, Quani Morgan. That was Liberty, and the young man before that was Samari, if I'm not mistaken.
Omari Thomas.
Omari Thomas. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where Quani Morgan is. Hopefully he's all right. He is not in the rotation.
And after the penalty, big opportunity now for the Silk City Animals. The snap, Tender steps up in the pocket, met, but that ball is caught. And here's an opportunity. That's Manny Diaz on the reception.
That's
Kasim Perry, number 4, KP.
Yeah, KP.
The Shiesties, those Gator Tech, the Gator Tech Shiesties are getting to me early on in this game, but the new uniforms, the silver and white,
I like them.
They're clean. These are clean. The numbers, you could see them, and we see here on the replay.
And that's a good block by the tight end Smurf to give David Tender that lane, because it was closing pretty quick, but DT can get the ball off. And as you can see, the weather's not that great to be throwing the ball.
It is a foggy day in Asbury Park.
Yeah, that run attack isn't working the way they need it to or want it to. And you could kind of see the impact of not having Quani Morgan early.
And the call again, Tender being asked to move back here. Matt Ryan joined alongside Big Rob Fabian on the A7FL Games of the Week on A7FL.TV and DAZN. And the referees really trying to assert themselves here in this game. And it will be second down after the catch from KP. Kasim Perry, who had an excellent showing last week. The snap. Tender. Throws. That one's picked up. Met again by this Watchmen defense.
And the Watchmen are coming out.
Down.
The Watchmen are coming out fast and hard early, and I gotta respect that. But that's what you come to expect from a Watchmen defense. So I would hope the Animals don't think they were going to get an easy game. Last time these guys bumped heads last season in that miracle makeup game, that was one of the highest scoring games I think I've ever sat down and watched in the A7. I think the final score for that one was 71-56 with the Watchmen coming off with the win. But it was a very competitive game early, and I'm thinking we're going to see a bit of that today.
And it will be third down after the effort from KP on those last two plays, and then that clock continuing to bedevil the Silk City Animals offense as 11:47 and counting on the clock, and this Baltimore defense putting the pressure on the Animals to make decisions in that tight time frame and sending them back another 5 yards, Rob.
They got 30 seconds from when the ball is placed on the ground. I wasn't a fan of how quick the clock used to go, but the rules are the rules, man. He's waving it off, though.
They'll wave off the penalty.
Lucky for the Animals, because, listen, 10 yards is much longer than 5. I don't know what they would have did. They'd have to change the play and everything.
Two teams who faced off in the playoffs here in the regular season squaring off. That one for a window. Big play, slide down past the 50, and that'll be a first down. They will stay upright, and they stop them. That is KP again, Kasim Perry, the secret weapon on this offense this afternoon for the Silk City Animals, looking to make a statement, get the first down now in Baltimore territory.
And KP, like I said last week, he popped off on screen, and this is after seeing guys like, this is a great throw, great catch, way to stay poised in the pocket by DT3. KC popped off on the screen last week behind Manny Diaz, behind Kwani Morgan, behind DT3, behind Liberty, and he really showed that he has a place on this offense. He's there when his name is called, and I think he's going to be a very impactful player without Kwani Morgan here.
Sly and Butcher on the tackle. That handoff. That one is Omari Thomas. Don't be sorry for Omari. Statement game. The former Watchman telling his team to watch this. Put 6 on the board on the rush. Touchdown Animals.
I don't think they missed Kwani Morgan. I think that offensive line is built to block for the run for real. Like, what a stellar run. Wow.
What a play, what a run. The offensive line for the Animals stepping into form. Gonzalez, formerly known as Papa Smurf, laying in the blocks on that one. Watch there. Sets the seam.
Great read. That was a big block
and
over
just
there.
skating along the sideline, knowing exactly where he is. Omari Thomas has played so many games at Asbury Park Stadium, so many games in this league, usually in a Baltimore uniform, but now as an Animal, scoring 6 points and having the Watchmen watch this as they will go for the extra point.
That is big. To score against your former team, first drive, you know what I'm saying? That's huge. That's
on
huge.
An impact play, too, when they will play action. Tender gets on his bicycle, may not be at 100%, but still trying to make plays, gets over to Mike Liberty. Mike Liberty! One of the toughest men in the A7FL. Back to Tender. That one will bounce back, and that one will be a dead ball play. So 6 points on the board for the Animals. Try to get fancy, but cannot get the score when we return on the A7FL Games of the Week. Watch this. It'll be Baltimore with the ball. It's the A7FL Games of the Week on DAZN and A7FL.TV. Alex, time check, something? We're back with the A7FL Games of the Week, and if you want to be a part of the A7FL, head on over to a7fl.com/owners. Whether you're in Brooklyn, whether you're in Florida, whether you're in Atlanta, Michigan, or beyond, join the fastest-growing spring football league now. Bring the A7FL to your city at a7fl.com/owners. David Tender and Omari Thomas put the first 6 points on the board for the Silk City Animals. Now DT3 will throw it off. I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and now Corey Hammond, as this ball will be caught at the by number 6.
That's Pack.
That's Marcellus Pack, and Pack money gets packed up. It's not an election year, but you can always use a little bit of Pack money. And Rob, Corey, we take a look at this game. Corey, we're about to see an interesting matchup here, a dynamic quarterback duo. We're going to see guys rotate here for the Baltimore Watchmen. It's going to be OG Buck and Ace Boogie. What can we know about John Gauze Jr.? What can we know about Buck? Because it's gonna be a real interesting matchup here as they rotate these guys in and out.
Well, the chess match starts with Buck at quarterback, and he's really known as the better play caller to the better pure quarterback. But it looks like personnel-wise, they're going to come out with 2 tight ends and see if they can run the ball.
10-10 left in the first quarter, and it looks like a flag has been thrown on Baltimore.
Man.
And they will go 5 yards back to the 27.
Gotta respect that 30-second clock, man. It's not a joke. Again.
And Rob, if they want to be a part of the conversation and let us know about that 30-second clock, they can go to a7fl.com/chat. That's a7fl.com/chat. The snap, the handoff, and then tries to get back to the initial line of scrimmage on the handoff. That one to number 10. That's Daniel Griffin, a.k.a. Dan the Man. And it will be second down.
It's going to be interesting what they do in the running game here, because they're likely their best running back that they've had, the Watchmen, it now plays for the opposition in Omari Thomas.
Yeah,
that was such a run by Omari Thomas to set up that touchdown. 2nd and 12 after the gain of 3. Pressure immediately. On his bicycle. He'll get the first down and more. Gets past the 40. Gets the shoulder and gets to the 35. Tackle by Robert Long. But a big play there by OG Buck makes it first down for Baltimore.
Robert Long is turning out to be one of my favorite tacklers on the Animals. Like, he's been the sure tackle whenever somebody breaks in the open field. But seeing OG Buck get one like that, that's kind of surprising. He's never usually that fast. But the linebacker bailed. Nobody was spying on him. And Trey
Baskerville was too outside, Rob. You saw it down the replay.
It's a straight line, and Buck is fast enough to at least get those yards. So that's a great run.
That boy run about a 5'9".
I was waiting for it, Corey.
And just like that, we're back, and so is the Animals' defense. A huge burst of speed by Daniel Griffin, but will not get beyond the first down. Well, get a few yards, but it won't get the first down. It'll be second down for Baltimore.
Yeah, watching back the replay of that long run from Buck, first of all, Rob, you talked about the tackle first on that 40-yard gain from Buck. So
because he saved the touchdown. If I'm being
no,
honest.
he did. But the way it opened up was just a little weird for the Animals defense. Let's see how they adjust on second down.
2nd and 8. 8:10 left to go in the first quarter. Man with the clown shiesty at the top of your screen. The The snap and the handoff immediately met by the Animals defense will get them to the 39, and it will be second down.
Rob, you already mentioned Long, but Matt, you mentioned Trey Baskerville, and then I see Samad Jenkins, a former linebacker for the Renegades out there. The Animals have been playing great defense this year, not only because the scheme is working for them, but they've added enough names that now we can look at their defense and maybe not expect what we saw last year in the BIC game.
Yeah,
they're much better off on defense.
Way better.
Third and long for the Watchmen.
And don't adjust your screens. That is definitely Jay Roller in an Animals uniform, ready to rock.
See them right there staring down the barrel. Third down. Buck throws it to the sideline, out of reach. And the receiver could not get there. That was 00. Aubrey Minor, a.k.a. Beefy, cannot make it go and daps up MF Doom, and it will be fourth down.
Corey, I got a question for you. You're out there. You see the conditions. As a quarterback, do you think it's a good idea to throw the ball or focus your offense on throwing the ball here?
Well, it's like a mist. So honestly, breaking it down as a quarterback, when it's like this mist, what actually happens is you get a little bit of better grip on the ball at times, as long as you have a towel to prevent accumulation. But that time, it was more the pressure that forced him to make a bad throw. Beefy a lot of times will catch that. Yeah. But this time, no go. It'll bring a fourth down.
And fourth down. Buck will roll out to his right. Throws it deep. Intercepted!
Wow. Long.
Robert Long looking to go long down the field. Gets around one defender. Finds the sideline, gets to the 25, and will run out at the 29. So on 4th and 14, the Animals kind of get a bit of a residual punt. We'll call that a defensive punt.
That looks like to me, that's giving me a little bit of PTSD from last week. Fourth down and extremely long.
A flag on the play.
Buck steps up in the pocket, throws to that crossing route, too high. Defender catches it, intercepts it, but it really works out to be a punt if they're able to make the tackle on long.
Very true.
Good return, but you see here, when a quarterback's facing fourth down, you got to let the ball go. The pressure makes him climb the pocket.
There. Once he sees Jay Roller, he has to let that thing go, yeah.
So he's giving his receiver a chance. It's just not a good enough chance, and now it's going to be David Tender with the chance, and that's a dangerous thing if you're the Watchman.
Tender on play action on first down.
Look at Smurf.
Gets it over to Isaiah on running, big man, formerly known as Papa Smurf. He slips, he slides, he makes his way inside the 10-yard line. First down, Silk City. Big play there.
I promise you guys, by the end of the season, Gonzalez will be a candidate for Rookie of the Year. The size, the speed.
But can somebody explain the nickname? He's
Papa
Smurf, but
he no longer wants to be called
Smurf.
Papa Smurf.
No,
he
that's an enormous
He was
Smurf.
Papa Smurf in name only.
He blocks and then he leaks out. It's just perfect. Then he's there. Look at the size of this guy. You want to go against him? Look at the strides.
Rocking the 80 like Jeremy Shockey, running in full speed.
Look.
Oh, just sir. And just having the wherewithal to not touch the stripe. And Tender will keep it on first down. He will guide himself through.
Oh,
Gonzalez, that's Sean Kessler with the block touchdown. Animals.
And it's as if they didn't miss a beat, Matt. We talked about this pregame. We said if David Tender is healthy, what is it going to look like? It's not looking too good right
And
now.
the Animals looked at this game as a Black Air Forces game. David Tender posted it on social media internally before the start of the game. He let everybody know that was going to be the tone they set today. John Kessler set the block. Tender with another running touchdown as we roll on here.
And it's just his
and the way he makes plays consistently.
Go ahead, Corey.
Well, yeah, the way he makes plays consistently is just so frustrating for a defense. They're not playing
going for the extra point. Tender!
Ooh,
what was that?
He got that off.
Was that J. Roll?
No, that's not J. Roll.
That's Macho Ortiz. And Ortiz is down. He might have pulled a muscle there coming up. No, he's fine.
He just pulled the old man bone. Macho is just fine. Now, the championship points do end up hurting in the long haul, but being up by 12
in the first quarter,
it doesn't hurt.
And we are powered by Scene. If you want to get your video to the next level, if you want to be a part of what we're doing, if you're an online creator or business manager, managing oceans of live or recorded content. You want to optimize and monetize those assets. Scene helps you get complete control over your video content, organize an inventory, and maximize monetization. Go to Scene. That's SEEN.com. That's SEEN for the next level of video commerce and social video scaling. That's SEEN.com. Matt Ryan joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond as we are live on the A7FL Games of the Week on A7FL.tv and DAZN. Coming up at 4 o'clock, it is the battle between the Trenton BIC and the Patterson U. But let's take a look again.
Look at this. Look at
Tender on the toss. He knows he sees himself getting sent. Oh, that's a touchdown. But Kessler sets that chip block there and slides right into the end zone, and it will be 12-0. And Divine Epps, King Vine, will be on the 3-on-1 return team to help stifle Marcellus Pack. And that ball will have to go 35 yards on the fly. It does. It is a live ball. And that one will bounce out of the end zone, so we'll see a dead ball run. Smart play there by Marcellus Pack, Rob.
Yeah, you never want to see Pack with the ball in his hands, and once he realized it was bouncing out, he didn't even make an attempt for it. Smart, a very smart play.
4:52 left to go, and after the flag for illegal procedure or just accidentally letting the ball bounce out of play by the throw-off team. One of the most dangerous returners in A7FL history. Played with the Trenton BIC last season, went all the way to the A7FL championship game. Pack looking to bring a championship back to Baltimore and looking to put 6 on the board. He gets past Divine Epps. That man Marcellus Pack gets into the outside to the sideline, and that is a tackle. That man right there, number 3, Jamar Wheeler. Oh, pardon me, that is Omari Thomas. Omari Thomas laying the hammer. Pardon me, that was Jamar Wheeler. Wheeler laying down. It's your boy Mar Wheeler.
Look at this. He bobs Divine Epps, so now the outside is wide open. We don't see this guy screaming from the other side.
Bang!
Bob! That is
and he made the attempt to wrap. You saw him try to wrap, but his shoulders did the talking. But great field position, though, Rob, for Baltimore.
Wow, phenomenal, but they got to do something with it. I'm not really sure what – okay, they're keeping OG Buck in, so I don't know if they're doing this –
taunting on the return team, so the Watchmen will get a few more yards.
And then, I don't know. I gotta see something. They got who's that?
That is Snag Sosa.
That's Snags?
Angelo Lewis Jr. making his appearance.
Goodness.
He'll be set up to the left of Buck, and there you see Trey Baskerville, former Defensive Player of the Year, looking to jump off that line. This Animals line is hungry. They are waiting for it. And there's the flag. False start on the offense.
And it's about the position, and I guess they're watching, trying to make them jump. And I guess they've made enough impact to make that offensive line a little nervous, I guess. If the offensive line was to jump. No, it wasn't the offense. I'm guessing it was on defense.
Oh, and another costly defensive penalty.
Yeah, that's definitely going to cost them. But again, these guys are up. They definitely scored twice when they should have only scored once. So.
And it'll be 1st and goal. Ball placed at the 6-yard line. Amazing return by Pack Money. Play action. Buck in trouble. The toss gets through. Can he get past the initial line of scrimmage? He does. And he is brought down at the 3. So they'll get a gain of 3 on the play. And that toss to Aubrey Minor, a.k.a. Beefy, and it will be 2nd down.
Those are the sure hands you were looking for earlier, Corey.
Well, he's doing all he can to avoid the pressure. Snags is wide open if Buck is given any time. But the thing is that's why you send the pressure. That's why you send the rush. Even if there are open receivers down the field, if the quarterback can't release the ball accurately, it's just as effective a defensive strategy. And it'll bring up 2nd and 3.
And right now trying to close the door.
Oh, they put the big body in the backfield.
They hand it off, play action, flag on the play. The toss to seam. Big man will not be denied. Oh, you're going to try to throw a shoulder at him. That is a huge tutty. That is the humble beast. Marquise Williams getting to 6. But we'll see what the flag is.
And Long made an attempt. I mean, he made an attempt, but I thought he had something better than that. you need a little more sauce.
An illegal formation call on the offense will send them back. No touchdown. So we'll replay the down and go back 5 yards.
Your boy knew not to risk the whole whole rest of the game on that decision.
See, yeah, Long's doing a great job. Trey Baskerville, you are 6'7". You should definitely be jumping up and swatting little jump passes like that. I need one of those out of you.
He's got to be like
me.
He's got to be like prime Rodman.
Snatching the ball out the sky. Buck is staying composed with all this pressure on him.
The snap, the throw, caught. Tries to get around the defender, will be brought up. No, he will stay up. It takes 5 members of the Animals to get number 10, Dan the Man, out of the play, and it will be 3rd down. That's CP, number 10 on the catch.
I'm not liking for the Watchmen's offense, I'm not liking how they're able to get stopped in the red zone right now. And I don't know if it's the play call, and I don't know if it's the blocking at this point, because this is a great catch, and I feel like this close to the end zone, you should be able to fight for those yards.
But you know better than anybody, the red zone is one of the tougher places to score if you don't have the size to bully people and just punch it in, because all of the space is reduced to that little box, and Huff's got to find somebody wide open, and hopefully he can break free.
Trevor Narlock in the chat's in. The big boys got wheels. The throw and out of reach for number 81. That was to Avon Jones, and Jones not able to make the reception.
I don't like it.
Yeah, that's Hefe, and he's open on the slant. You know, when you're a right-handed quarterback, you throw across your body. If you plant that front foot too early, you're not going to be able to get the torque from your hips to get it across your body. So that's just basic fundamentals there, and use of SAT vocab words. But the nice thing is that regardless, 4th down, they're going to have to go for it. And on 4th and 7, you see Nick Mays is an option there, raising his hand at tight end.
The Mean Machine looking to put 6 on the board. A goal line stand. The Animals defense have met the challenge, but they need one more stop here on 4th down. Ochi Buck will scheme through, and he will find himself in the end zone. Watch this. Touchdown, Baltimore.
I definitely like it. He definitely took the burden and realized that, I don't know, he's looking back like something happened.
There might have been a call on the play. You can see he is not happy. His mouth was agape. Something happened.
Yeah,
we might have to run that play back.
But in the event that it was a touchdown and he did
no touchdown. No touchdown.
Never mind then. I'll shut up. Nothing to say. I mean, he put the team on his back here. He tried the run. He tried the pass. At the end of the day, you're the guy with the ball in his hands for most of the game. You got to do something. So once he sees that running lane, which I don't think the Animals are ready
holding
for.
on the offense.
Yikes.
So on another 4th down attempt, the throw to the end zone, right into his pocket. Hefe Jones with a boss play, making it 12-6 on 4th down.
He said he will not be denied.
The Animals defense just forced the Watchmen to score 3 times inside the 15. But Buck is up to the task, and this drive for the Watchmen is huge because they're down 2 scores. You know, the first couple of plays they were on defense, great. Then they let up a long play, and then the touchdown. So to make sure momentum isn't completely on the Animals side, they had to convert this 4th down for the 2nd time in a row, and Buck's able to do it.
And if you want to be a part of the conversation, head on over to a7fl.com/chat. That's a7fl.com/chat. Going for 1 from the 5, and that one will be low. Cannot get there. That was intended for Aubrey Minor, and it will be the Animals getting a chance to return the ball. And folks, if you want to be a part of the conversation, drop a comment, get a shout out. Download the Locker Room Chat app today by scanning the QR code, or head on over to a7fl.com/chat. That's a7fl.com/chat. Locker Room Chat, the official chat of the A7FL. Matt Ryan joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond. And Corey, it's good to have you back, buddy.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Honestly, I do apologize in advance to the watchers, listeners, you fans in general. I can't do the Tony Romo prediction thing because I'm seeing it a little bit before you guys. So if I do pull one out, it's cheating. So I'm not going to do it at all today. But we can't have a better lineup of matchups today. 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock, or 4 o'clock Western time matchups. This is the A7FL at its best, and I don't think you could get a better slate of matchups than Week 3.
No, this has been an amazing day of action, and it's an amazing slate. We will have action all day long on A7FL.com, A7FL.tv. Want to learn more about where to watch, go to A7FL.com/watch. That is caught inside the 5 as Divine Epps looking to get past Marcellus Pack. He does. Gets through 2. Tries to get through the 3rd. And then almost gets hit with a paradigm shift. And much like the Death Riders, the Animals have the momentum here today in the latter portion of our first quarter. And there's David Tender, a guy, Corey Hammond, a lot of people would consider an MVP candidate. And with numbers 4 for 4, 107 yards on the day. In just the first quarter.
There was people last year that wanted to give him MVP for the almosts he had against BIC and the U, for instance, right? Last week, that was no almost. That was a full 100% yes in the affirmative. First and 10.
2 men on the line. Macho and Kessler will be eligible, but that is a handoff on the quick play to Mike Liberty, and Liberty will be brought down at the 41-yard line, and that will bring us to the end of our first quarter.
Don't love the design of that play, but I do love that David Tender is. I do love that David Tender is very willing to use all of the running backs that he has at his disposal. Kwani Morgan, Amari Thomas, Liberty. Wow.
We'll be back with more action after this. We're back live with the A7FL Games of the Week. I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond. Want to wear the gear you see on the field? Go to where it's always effort over excuses. TPG Sports, the official uniform provider of the A7FL, provides custom athletic uniforms for athletes of all sports and ages. Get your favorite team's A7FL personalized jersey today at A7FLshop.com. That's A7FLshop.com. Matt Ryan joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond as we're live on the A7FL Games of the Week. Your score 12-6 at the start of our second quarter. And the clock runs here in the A7FL from the start until the 2-minute warning, unless there is a turnover on downs or a touchdown, and we might see another one from David Tender. Tender goes right down Broadway, the 20 to 15 to 10 to 5. Touchdown Animals. That man is marketable. That is David Tender, and Silk City looking to run the league.
I had a couple conversations this week, Matt, and most of those conversations had to do with that young man right there on that team right there. Are the Animals moving everyone out the way to make it that they're the clear-cut number one on the East? I mean, it's to be decided, but with plays like this and phenomenal blocking by the offensive line, I mean, what do you think?
There's also great blocking down the field by the wide receivers. And the reason the lanes open up so huge for David Tender is not only does he have the ability as a runner to really hurt you, but he's even more dangerous if you leave your man in coverage to try to tackle him as he's running down the field. Here's CJ coming in for the 2-point.
Chris Johnson in motion. The handoff, play action. Johnson, formerly of Boston College. The play action, the toss back, that is over to Kasim Perry, and Perry will just get on his bicycle, and they will get their first 2 points of the day, first championship points and a championship-level score. And KP.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Did he just.
That Baltimore dance
He
thing, right?
did the Baltimore shuffle against the Watchmen.
Oh, no. Oh, no. And there you see Ant Richardson.
That's so played out, though, so let's be honest. That's been done so many times.
Not in this situation. It'll be played out if the Watchmen come back and win. If the Watchmen come back and win, then we're going to blame it on that. But Kasim Perry, just with the hus, the little hezzy, and then...
these guys don't. And I've noticed this with two veteran teams back-to-back that played this team. They don't want to tackle. It's like everybody's hugging, everybody's reaching high. I don't see that, putting a shoulder in there and trying to tackle the guy.
Well, if you want to protect yourself, this game is brought to you by Gator Tech. Get more protection on the field with the Gator Skin Shiesty, shown to reduce concussion risks up to 79%. This protective Shiesty is engineered with absorption material to help keep you safer during high-impact hits. Visit G8RTech.com. That is G8RTech.com. And use the code A7FL25. That's A7FL25 for 10% off.
All I'll say is that there was a 38-year quarterback dancing week 1, and I think dancing's now officially played out.
Hold on.
And this will be a return from Pack inside the end zone. Pack cannot get forward. He is brought down by Axel Vega Rodriguez. Number 25, Vega Rodriguez in on the tackle. And right now, this coming in from Cole Gardella, our head of stats. Tender has more rushing yards than the entire Watchmen offense, 70-66.
Tender's making people look silly, and as it seems, I don't know if I'm mistaken, Corey, you're there. Do you see Ace Boogie at all, or is this a Buck-centric game?
I can't confirm 100%, but this looks like a Buck game.
And it's much easier, and this is no disrespect to Buck. He has a phenomenal playbook, makes a bunch of terrific plays, but it's much easier to call a game dealing with one quarterback. I could say that.
The toss in a...
Oh, he's coming down. Boom.
Interesting setup. That's Marcellus Pack, a flag on the play, and we'll see what the call is.
And in reference to you guys or Cole talking about the stats, let's also just put it to the eye test. How easy is it for the Animals to score? And with a great return from Pack Money on the previous possession for the Watchmen, they had the ball at the 10 going in. How hard it was for them to just get the 6 points that they got.
Yeah, they're still struggling. And
it'll be first and 20 after the flag.
That's what I'm saying in regards to how they're moving. There's still a lot of time left in the game, of course, but there's a certain point where it's going to be very difficult to recover.
A little bit slow.
For sure, but you can't do that against the Animals. I think
this is the most important drive of the game right now for the Watchmen. First drive for them in the second quarter, a bird flying through like a John Woo film, and now Buck trying to make movie magic out of reach of the receiver. Cannot get there again. Aubrey Minor not able to make the contact.
He's looking here. He has a favorite, target. He's not able to reach his target. Beefy had a couple steps on the guys. I thought, maybe with a better place throw, but the pressure is getting to Buck, and Buck has to now adjust his throwing motion and moving to the left. You know what's crazy? I thought that was him.
And that is Carlos Croslin. He usually wears number 0. 10. Today he's wearing number 10.
That's Croslin with the hat. I thought it looked like Croslin, but
Croslin tall.
Yeah, I couldn't make it out, but this is very interesting.
And from the 4. Play action. Buck throws this one. That's to Angelo Lewis Jr. Snags Sosa. Will get to the 21, inside near the 25, and it will be first down.
And we're kind of getting a feel of who Buck really is as a quarterback. He's missing on some of these throws because he's not as pure of a passer, a pure completer of passes, but he's calling a lot of great plays and getting guys open.
Great plays, and I think that's where Buck's strength lie in his play calling.
Buck tries to get this one quick, tipped up and almost intercepted. Another big play by Vega Rodriguez, the man known as Axel, a key in this Animals defense, staying on the road, and we see this play back, Rob.
Wow, he lets. This is okay, yeah. These, and like Corey said, these are great play calls from Buck. It's just we don't see that explosiveness or that monstrous arm that we'd get from Ace.
And due to the penalties, what we thought was a first down gain only got them within 10 yards, so it'll be 4th and 8.
Oh my goodness!
So another fourth down.
On third down, he makes a decent enough throw to give his wide receiver a 50-50 ball. But credit this Animals defense. Not only is their offense dominant right now, their defense is making the Watchmen look like they don't know what they're doing out there so far, at least.
It's almost like a reverse. I can't even say that because last year was more competitive. This is a whole new group of guys going against these guys right now.
And it seems without Quani Morgan, this Animals offense is still able to percolate. But here's a return opportunity, and he gets brought down at the 50. That again is Divine Epps, King Vine on the back of the jersey.
And
that's too many yards.
And Carlos Crosland was the throw off guy, and you know what? Your one job on the replacement for a punt throw off on the 3-on-1 is to get the ball out of bounds now.
And you can see the frustration on Buck's face there right before we cut away.
They rushed to call it.
I don't know why they rushed to call it.
You got to get that out of bounds.
You see how close they are? I think the Animals, if we can ever check that stat, like their efficiency in that red zone is disgusting. I wouldn't want them anywhere near it.
And they are on the right side of the 50-yard line, right at the 50-yard line.
Yikes.
Not fun territory for this Watchmen's defense, whose back has been against the wall since the start of this game. Pitches back, tries to rotate around, cannot get past the line of scrimmage, and gets sent back to around the 45. That was Omari Thomas, who had the first touchdown of the game. But get some negative yards there, and it will be second down.
He was too excited. I feel like he should have just kept running.
A little friendly fire.
He should have just kept running to the outside. I think if he just believed in his speed, he would have actually made it there and got a couple of yards instead of being tossed back.
Look at that stat in the bottom right. 2 attempts, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. So that means every time David Tender has left the line of scrimmage, it has resulted in a touchdown. All 3 Animals touchdowns coming from the run, 2 from Tender, 1 coming from Omari Thomas. The play action. Tender throws it to Liberti. The check down cannot get there. And Crosland in on defense to help make the stop.
Finally, a little bit of pressure on David Tender to actually see him make a bad throw that was still catchable to a degree, but it was still a bad throw. And, kudos to...
Well, you would have caught it, Rob.
I would have. Sure hands, baby. But the Watchmen's defense have finally figured something out to give David Tender some pressure because David's back there just hanging out.
Quarterbacks like Tender force a defense to choose whether you're going to allow them to throw and not rush them full speed, or you're going to rush them full speed and leave lanes open to rush. They rushed well there, kept him in the pocket, and forced an errant throw. But it'll bring up 3rd and long, about 15.
Tender.
See what Tender can do.
Throws this one. In the pocket, intercepted by Crosland. Crosland loses the head, but does not lose the ball. Carlos Crosland gets to the 50. He gets past him. Tender trying to chase him down, and he will avoid Tender and run out of play. And just like that, Carlos Crosland rectifying the situation for the Watchmen. First down, Baltimore.
And now it can still...
That's exactly...
No, go ahead, Corey.
Well, that's exactly what they needed.
Yeah.
Now, on 3rd and 15, you know that the offense is going to have to put the ball past the sticks. And you see the rush gets to David Tender enough that he has to throw from his back foot. So it's not going to be perfectly accurate. A lot of times, Tender's receivers are going to go up and make the play, but Crosland's able to track it, and then he makes an even bigger play after he loses the beanie. Let the locks flow, young man. and then he changes the field position for the Watchmen, and now Once again, they have a short field, and their best opportunities on offense is when they've been in that situation. Mays is in his face. He gives his receiver a chance, but
he does. Carlos just makes a phenomenal play.
His length and
6'1", 6'2". Yeah, he's like 6'1", 6'2". He goes up and he goes to get that thing. So kudos to Crosland on that play.
Handoff on first down, trying to make something happen after the turnover. A slight gain that will get him to around the 31. It'll be second down. That was Pack money, Marcellus Pack on the run.
That'll be interesting to see how the Watchmen use Pack. Pack, BIC guy last year, didn't play a lot of offense. He is a dangerous weapon if you know how to use him, but they run the stretch there. He's able to get 5 yards, but you got to be careful because you saw those two pretty large human beings chasing him down from the side. He wants to be running full speed away from those guys, but it'll bring up a manageable 2nd and 5.
2nd and 5, 8:50 and counting. More 2nd and 6 after the readjustment, and Marcellus Pack, 6 yards, 5 yards, it don't matter. First down, Baltimore.
And there has to be some type of adjustment that was made, or Buck has finally, it took him long enough, but he sees something and he's continuously exploiting that because the offensive line is getting a solid push to get Pack those lanes to run it down like that. This is not an accident. This is something that's happening intentionally, and Pack, Buck, all those guys see it.
20-6 your score. Baltimore driving after the interception by Carlos Crosland. First turnover of the game for Silk City. Baltimore now trying to strike while the iron is hot. The quick toss over to number 81. That is Avon Jones, F.A. Jones. Not able to get the first down, but continues to move the ball down the field, Rob.
Guys, that looked like an RPO because the rest of the team was running a run action.
Oh, timeout call by the Animals. The Watchmen had them on their back foot there, guys. Corey, continue.
No, I'm very happy you said that, Corey, because I was going to ask you, Corey, talk to me. As a lineman, that didn't look like what I thought it looked like. It definitely looked like an RPO.
Well, the rule in the A7FL now is as long as you don't throw the ball, it's something like 3 or 4 yards past the line of scrimmage, the offensive line can actually get to 2-3 yards down the line of scrimmage. So it opens up the potential for a run-pass option. And if you watch the replay there, the entire team except for Buck and Hefe are running a power run to the right. I guess Buck liked the matchup with Jones, picks up the 4 yards, which is as much as you would expect from a short run play. And it's a great opportunity if they're going to continue to do that, to keep that outside honest to maybe open it up in the box.
Get taped up like a pro. Tape Me Up has professional athletic training services available to all athletes, sports, and ages. Go to tapemeup.net or scan the QR code now. That's tapemeup.net. Matt Ryan's run alongside Corey Hammond and Big Rob Fabian. 20-6 your score. Midway through the second quarter at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. It'll be the BIC taking on the U, and at half, the QC Crush driving over the Octane 37-0 in the Midwest. So a big day there for the Crush, looking to assert themselves in the Midwest and get into the mix here in the Eastern Conference. It'll be second down, another timeout called. See what the conversation here's between the officials.
You look at the QC Crush's schedule in retrospect now. Start the year off with the Animals. That's a tough one. And then here's BIC, guys. BIC.
Facing arguably two of the toughest teams, two of the toughest outs in the A7FL in your first 2 weeks of the 2025 season.
Based on the information we've been given in today's game and the season so far, those may be the top 2 teams in the Northeast Conference, back to back. At least they got them at home, though. At least they got them at home.
It'll be interesting to see how the top 7 voting susses out after week number 3. In week 2, we saw the Animals supplant the Insomniacs, who return to action today. Out west, that game against Sick With It, their big matchup on the calendar on Rivalry Week. That will cap us off at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And the handoff on second down, trying to drive through the defenders. Nothing doing there for Snag Sosa, Angelo Lewis, and it will be third down.
And right now,
go ahead,
Corey.
My bad, Rob.
Go ahead.
One thing about Buck's play calling is when he gets super run heavy, it might be just me being a little biased, but when he's super run, it sometimes feels like he doesn't have full confidence in him throwing the ball accurately. But now with the 3rd and 6, he's likely going to have to.
Go for the throw or run?
I mean, I would throw it, but you guys know me.
Yeah, we know you throw it, but I would always go for the run in 3rd and 5. Going, you know what I'm saying?
3rd and 6, no way.
3rd and 6, you wouldn't.
Well,
that
they
close?
get to a 4th and 2.
4th and, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So 4th and 2, I'm still going for the run here. I'm big enough to just fall forward for 2 yards.
Here's 4th down.
Throws it? No, he's running.
And that's a big play from Buck. He gets the back-to-back run plays as I'm calling for the pass. Now, he did call for a pass on this play, but you see there, the veteran knows how far he needs to get. So this is the 3rd down play. And great tackle for Samad Jenkins in open field.
And getting that play on 4th down. Big play by Buck. You see him getting up. Ooh, that is not what you want to see from your MVP caliber quarterback and offensive play caller. He has been a guy that has been the linchpin to Baltimore teams for the last few seasons, whether the rare breed or the Watchmen.
And that's the cost of running the ball like that as Buck. The way he's been running today, it's not that it's uncharacteristic, but it's more than I'm usually used to seeing him run. And putting him in those positions with these big, gigantic animals, guys, tackling him full speed while he's on a run, I don't think that's a good recipe for a long, drawn-out game. It's better when he's splitting it with Ace. That way he doesn't have to deal with those hits. Those guys are tired from chasing Ace. He run about a 5'9". They're not going to be that tired with him.
And now with him taking a walk, the clock continuing the run, and a 2-score deficit, it'll be Carlos Crosland, former Patterson U quarterback in 2023.
Yeah, this is a big side of the field for Crosland based on his career so far.
Funny.
3 men on the line in motion. Crosland will keep it, met by pressure, and that one's in the dirt. That'll hit the ground, and it'll be 2nd down. That intended for Aubrey Minor Beefy.
So it's a good throw, I guess. I mean, Beefy's a shorthand.
He was on his back foot. Yeah, he's on his back foot. He needs to get a little bit more zip on it. Credit the Animals' defensive pass rush for affecting the throw. But that could have been the touchdown that they needed. I see Buck running back and forth on the sideline, probably just a little bit shaken up. Crosland can handle himself for sure, but it'll be 2nd and goal as Buck is warming up on the sideline.
Want to thank Boobie Miles, Trevor Narlock, joining us on the chat alongside Rabbit70, trying to run this play back. Beefy Aubrey Minor will rumble, stumble. It's always thick boy season in the A7FL, and that's a touchdown for Baltimore.
That was a good play call. That was a phenomenal play call. They didn't expect it. They bid on the first run. Carlos Crosland is a run threat, so they kind of followed him too. And no one even expected this guy to get the ball. That was phenomenal. That's a great play call. Great block.
Well, he's number 90, Rob. How many times have you seen a number 90 score from 7 yards out? But
not enough.
Blocking there, wide open.
Not enough. Phenomenal blocking. My coach would have benched me for thinking I could run with a 90 jersey on.
And those Baltimore, and again, utilizing that motion gets them flagged. 20-12 your score. And I believe that was actually... That was not Aubrey Minor. That's number 98.
Not sure if you're allowed to stand up and start blocking early there.
So they will go back another 5 yards. They will go for a 2-point attempt from the 15. Watch for the big man, number 98. Outside of your screen. Snags Sosa. Carlos Crosland will keep it on the pull. Crosland lets the defender eat the grass, and now it's a chase to the turf, and it is caught through the window, through the seam. The big man makes the catch. Aubrey Minor with the catch, and this one is a game 20-14.
Yikes. Hold on.
Throw it to that man's hands, and he'll catch it.
He'll catch it. Beefy is a short catch. The drops were a little surprising, but I guess they didn't touch his hands. Wow, Carlos Crosland. Oh, my goodness. Dance for me, young man. Get up.
Cha-cha, real smooth.
Good blocks. Wow.
And he lost a shoe. Crosland lost a shoe.
Goodness.
Like the seminal Sid and Cindy album, I Lost My Shoe in Asbury.
Let's take a look. He husses this guy. This guy lost his mind. Now, Gonzalez, Trey Baskerville, got to do better than that. Gonzalez has him almost dead to rights and only gets the shoe. And he throws a dart between two defenders, and Beefy's able to come up with that. That is phenomenal. Wow, Carlos. Wow.
And it is 14-20. We'll take a brief timeout. 4:59 left to go in the half. Whole lot of football left. It's the A7FL Games of the Week. We'll be back with more. Head on over to GatorTech, scan the QR code now, and we'll be back with more. Make your way over to GatorTech now. Scan the QR code. Get 10% off their Gator Skin Shiesty. Use the code A7FL25. Scan the QR code now or go to G8R Tech. That's GatorTech.com. 20-14 your score on the A7FL Games of the Week. And it's a throw-off for the Baltimore Watchmen. And they will see the Animals pick that up inside the 20. Here's an opportunity on an untimed down. Trying to get him through the jersey. And there's a flag. Tried to play a little bit of hockey there, Corey Hammond and Big Rob Fabian. They'll get a flag on that one. Not sure if it'll be a dead ball run. And Will Franklin looking to assert authority here. He is the official for today's game.
Little horse collar.
Terrell Burks on the 3-on-1 throw-off sometimes seems to the quicker players like a liability in the coverage, but his reach, his length, it makes him his ferocious ability to pursue the tackle.
And if you want to be a part
Amazing.
of the, and Corey, not to cut you off, but if you want to be a part of the conversation, if you want to hear us shout you out on air, if you want to complain about anything, go to a7fl.com/chat. That's a7fl.com/chat and join us in the conversation. 4 for 6 tenders so far, 107 yards and 1 INT. That was on their last drive, looking to reclaim it here with 4:42 and counting in our first half. Tender with one man set to his right, 2 wide receivers. Tender, not a lot of time. Gets caught. One makes the catch, makes the play, gets the first down. And that one will send his jersey around. And it will be a first down. A flag on the offense.
On the Animals.
Holding on the Animals. KP was the intended receiver. His jersey got torn. Either he turned it around or he was turned around on that play. Either way, we'll run back first down.
That's rough.
And the thing that separates Tender from quarterbacks in this league that are good at running and good at throwing is that when a defensive player makes contact with him, or he is off his platform, or any of those types of situations that are abnormal for a quarterback, stuff that you don't practice, right? When there's no defense, when there's no rush, he's still able to think clearly and throw accurately. And even though that play is ending up as a penalty and it's going to be, replay first down, the fact that he's able to throw over the second level of the defense while he's falling down to find the open man over the middle of the field, which is a dangerous place to be and a hard place to see with guys in front of your face, that's the explanation I'll give for David Tender.
And
he is a different human being.
And holding on offense and defense, so that'll reset it, and we'll go back to 1st and 10. Tender, dump down, that's the check down. Opportunity, gets it inside the 35, first down, Animals, and a big play by
that's so nasty.
Omari Thomas
That's so nasty.
Paying a visit to his old sideline.
Oh, my goodness.
How disrespectful of a play is that, Robin Corey?
I love it. I love every second of that. That is fire. That is fire. That's what you want.
Well, I mean, he's earlier in the game, he's dapping these guys up. So when he finally gets one, and they got to watch the holding just in general. If I'm going to narc on Baltimore teams, I might as well on the Animals
Heads
as well.
up by number 19. That's DK Butcher trying to knock that ball out, but tender. We're back to live action. The toss over. That is again to KP. KP has been the check down option. No, sir. That is a monster. He won't get the first, but he will get it to the 32-second down.
He's using Amari as a workhorse right now against his former team, and it might be doing something to their psyche that it's their buddy doing them like that. I know it can get like that as Corey gets attacked by seagulls.
Birds everywhere. And that was, again, pardon me, Omari Thomas. The birds are out today as the Animals look to go psycho, and they are going to make the Watchmen look through their rear window as they try to pile on the lead here. The snap, tender, rolls out to his right, off the block, the catch. What a play, gets inside the 20, and he will be called out of play. And that's Manny Diaz getting the ball for the first time today.
And I know we've seen KP get a lot of the passes, but that's DT's number one wide receiver.
Yes, that is.
The
Baltimore defense has been doing a really good job today of keeping Manny Diaz off the board, but that has opened up opportunities for Gonzalez. That has opened up opportunities for Omari Thomas, KP.
Yeah, for sure.
Even Mike Liberty, who's back out there on offense.
I think KP is an underrated threat right now, and I think they see that and have made the adjustment to now not allow him to be as open, because I know we stopping Diaz, but what are we doing about KP?
We'll take a brief timeout. It's the 2-minute warning. David Tender and company are getting excited. They're a little jovial, but they got to keep the momentum going. We'll be back with more action in a moment. It's the A7FL Games of the Week. If you want to be a part of the conversation and join me, Rob, and Corey in the chat, go to a7fl.com/chat or scan the QR code today and join us on Locker Room Chat, the official chat of the A7FL Games of the Week. At the 2-minute warning, it's the Silk City Animals looking to drive downfield with a 6-point lead, 20-14. The handoff to Mike Liberty. Liberty finds his way through, gets inside the 10, brought down at the 8. And the Animals can continue to matriculate the ball downfield. It is a foggy day in Asbury Park, and right now the Animals looking to cut through it and continue their lead.
Well, and that's a really smart play call for a lot of reasons. It keeps David Tender's ability to run play action intact by giving the ball to Liberty, but it's burning down the clock, and you'd think 2-minute warning, you got to pass, but you don't want to give the Watchmen a chance.
3 wide receivers, empty backfield for Tender. See them all lined up on the right. Tender in trouble. He'll carry it. He will run to the outside, and that will be his 3rd running touchdown of the afternoon. Touchdown, Silk City.
That's absurd, bro. That is absurd. That 3rd one, and it's not as if the guy can't throw, but 3rd one?
In the half. Yeah. In the half.
Guys, I just got a text. Mr. Marketable himself is getting a little. Now, this is not official. I cannot confirm this is true, but I think both DoorDash and Uber Eats are calling me because David Tender delivers. Now, they haven't made the investment yet, so it's still up in the air. But this guy is marketable. He needs some marketing done for him. But this is just insane that he's able to make this look so simple. I was just out there trying to do this. This game is not that easy.
Tender on the extra point attempt. They go for 2 from the 10. Tender throws it to the check down. It was to an ineligible receiver. He didn't, in the smart play by Gonzalez. I can't touch the ball.
Listen.
I can't.
Guns, you know what that reminds me of? You know that commercial with the kid who hit the basketball out of bounds?
Yeah.
And then went back to the coach and said,
Coach.
Me, coach. No, that kid's never worked in Hollywood again.
Make the refs work. Make the refs.
Gonzalez should have grabbed it and did what he was supposed to do with it. No way.
So, Rob, Corey, right now, the modern A7FL record, since modern record keeping has taken place over the last 3 seasons, our modern record is 4 rushing touchdowns in a game. Right now, David Tender is on pace to break, if 5 breaks the record. The record now is 4. He is 1 away from tying, 2 away from breaking the record of rushing touchdowns in a game. And, folks, if you want a David Tender jersey, all you got to go is tpg-sports.com. That's tpg-sports.com. Or head on over to a7flshop.com to get yourself a personalized A7FL jersey, and it will be number 10. Shahid Al-Kabir, a.k.a. Cowls, throwing the ball off now for the Animals. Those shoes are nice.
Hold on, Matt. You said that the modern A7FL is just 3 years ago. What does that make the time period
since
that
modern records since we had stats come in?
Retro. We're old, man. We're old and washed.
We turn back the clock at 4 p.m.
And we're from pre-Hammurabi, is what you're saying. There was no written record of the A7FL when me and Rob played. We are ancient fossils at this point, Rob.
BCD, before Colin David. A 1:01 left to go in the first half. Big play there by number 25, Vega Rodriguez. We've said his name an innumerable amount of times in this first half. And Pac Money, who got that ball around inside the 15-yard line, inside the 20, and gets immediately ankle bitten by Vega Rodriguez, stopping the veteran returner. And this 3-on-1 team has been really, really impressive.
Yeah. This defense has been doing pretty well, too. I mean, OG Buck is back.
Buck back after Crosland came in, and here's a handoff. And that one will, it seems like I don't know if the clock will keep running. Right, they call them out of bounds, so the clock will stop. Under 2 minutes in the second and fourth quarter in the A7FL. That is only time when the clock will stop on an incompletion or the ball running out of play.
You know what I mean, though? When OG Buck comes back onto the field, there's a minute left in the half. First play call, run.
I think it's a setup thing. At that point,
are you even really trying it?
No, I think it's a setup thing. He has like a playbook where he wants to keep them honest. So the run is really to just, hey guys, we can run it, and if you don't protect the run, we could bust 1 for 6. But I get where you're getting at, where it's like, we should probably be passing it here. But to set up OG Buck's style of passing, he needs these guys to play honest and stay. They can't cheat. He can't afford for guys like Long to cheat and pick them off.
Not to narc. There's only 6 guys in the huddle.
Oh, wow. Baltimore special? Yep. Oh my goodness. Oh, we called it. You did narc, but Baltimore special, you got to catch that. Because that's a free touchdown. And that's what I mean by staying honest, Corey. They stayed, most of those guys were looking inside.
Yeah, Corey, let's go again on the replay.
Take a look at this.
Watch the bottom of your screen. Right there, you see him inbounds just talking to 8 and 9.
No one's looking at snaps.
No one.
Because he kept them
that's
honest.
You gotta be honest. It's not that he's keeping him honest, it's that he can't make the throw right now.
Crosland back in at quarterback on 3rd down. The snap. Crosland immediately in trouble. Crosland rolls out, throws this one. He launches in. Caught! Can he get there? Touchdown, Baltimore! Carlos Crosland cashes in with Pac Money and gets this back to a 1-score game.
We just got to call it what it is.
That's the play call from Buck. Buck puts himself in a backstack. Buck knows the trick play to call. They're looking at Buck as the quarterback, but guess who's the guy who's able to accurately deliver not only a perfect spiral, but a bullet down the field with pressure in his face. That's Buck being the bigger man, knowing how his team needs to win, and giving the ball to a guy he trusts in Carlos Crosland, who's able to deliver.
And Crosland just launching this one from the 31, gets it to the 21. What a throw, and then Marcellus Pack just not letting that man take him down.
On the run, Corey. Take a look at that.
Not even going to narc on your guy Long. I'm not going to say it was Long that missed the tackle there.
Oh, over there? Oh, down there? Yeah, he definitely missed it. Look at Pack holding his hand. Come on, buddy. Let's go together.
Buddy check. Going for the 2 from the 10. Buck will throw this one and cannot get there. Almost found a way to pull that one off. That was number 81, the intended receiver, Avon Jones.
I think we got to call it for what it is. I think Buck should. If the Watchmen want to win this game, I talk about adjustments all the time. I do not think the Animals came out here expecting to play Carlos Crosland.
That's fair, and folks, if you want to protect yourself on the field or look dope on the field, this game is brought to you by Gator Tech. Get more protected on the field with the Gator Skin Shiesty, shown to reduce concussion risk by up to 79%. This protective shiesty is engineered with absorption material to help keep you safer during high-impact hits. Visit G8RTech.com. That's the letter G, the number 8, the letter R, tech.com, and use code A7FL25. That's A7FL25 for 10% off today. Matt Ryan joined alongside Big Rob Fabian, and there is number 19 as the Animals are waiting to return the throw-off from the Baltimore Watchmen. And Carlos Crosland, Corey Hammond, stepping in a big spot, getting it to Marcellus Pack to make this a one-score game.
Well, and I don't know if the Buck situation is because of the earlier injury and maybe he's not 100%. But you know what he is still doing is he's the play caller out there, putting his guys in the best position. He's the guy who called the Baltimore special and, like Rob said, set it up with that first run. Right. He's the guy who called Carlos Crosland's number to throw it to Pack Money, probably their best playmaker. And now with the 3-on-1, the thing is it's untimed. So David Tender is going to have 40 seconds, and he's proven that that's plenty of time for him to put his team back up 2 scores at this half.
And the Animals will be the beneficiaries of an untimed down and a dead ball play. The ball does not reach the requisite distance. It's got to get to the 25, and it'll be the honcho, Justin Hamilton, returning this one for the Animals from the 25-yard line. Get ready for what might be a scoring play. The A7FL's 3-on-1 is our version of the kickoff or punt return, and if you've never seen it before, well, folks, you came at the right time in this broadcast. Off the whistle, and Honcho will come from the 25-yard line. Gets through the, cannot get through the first defender, and he is brought down emphatically. Dapped him up, number 45, in on the tackle.
That's a good tackle from the coverage team. You want to give David Tender as much field as possible. I don't want that man nowhere near the end zone.
And it looks like the Animals...
They tried to rush to the line out of the 3-on-1 return and hurry it up.
Baltimore burning a timeout.
Saves them.
Yeah, well, Baltimore burning a timeout. The Animals wanting the Watchmen to feel uncomfortable. After that play, I think they were going to try to rush to the line and pull a little finagling there. But, folks, get your fan gear today. Don't just watch the game, wear the game. Get the official fan gear of the A7FL now from our friends over at Champs House. Get official A7FL hats, hoodies, t-shirts, and more. Scan the QR code or go to A7FLshop.com. That's A7FLshop.com and get your fan gear today. 26-20, and whether you're a fan of the Animals, the Watchmen, or just good football, it has been a fun first half of action. Matt Ryan joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond for our first of 2 A7FL games of the week. 40 seconds left to go. David Tender in our first half will trot up, look for an option. Throws towards the sideline. That's wide open, and that will be ran out of play by Kasim Perry. He will stop the clock. Another first down and 9 seconds off the board.
How is he so open, Corey?
Yeah, I don't know this obsession this year. It's happening on the Hawks as well, where corners and defensive backs are trying to play zone. That is just a guy in man coverage, just completely letting his receiver break off, stand by himself for a full 3 seconds at the sideline, and of course David Tender is going to complete that pass.
And mind you, I want to be clear. Gonzalez is on the line, not blocking a soul. If someone's spying over him, they're playing him pretty deep. But all Gonzalez has to do is slip out.
And it seems like we'll get after the first down. Tender tries to evade the defender, and he can't, and he's brought down for the first sack for Baltimore of the day and a timeout from the Animals.
Santisteban has to do a much better job blocking than that. Much better block. It's 2-on-2.
He also can't spike the ball out of frustration. That's a clear penalty. I don't know if they're going to call it. I think they're just letting the vet get away with it. But that's what you have to do against David Tender. If you're going to win this game, if you're the Watchmen, you have to 100% take advantage of the times that you get pressure in the backfield and get hands on him. If you're not bringing him down, he's going to break contain, and now he's playing 6-on-6 or 6-on-5, and he's going to win that matchup with his legs or his arm.
And that's Santisteban's fault, though. You got to have a better block than that.
Lane brought that right to him, Rob, and Santisteban just got on his back feet and just could not get that momentum going.
Oh, it looks like they're going to call holding on the defense on that guy.
Wow.
Oh.
The Animals, the beneficiary of a big call there, holding on the defense, will give David Tender.
You know what? They were holding Gonzalez down the field. I didn't think they caught that.
The snap, play action. Tender tries to make the man miss. That is a rototiller pass out of play. And another, it looks like there might be another flag on the field.
That one should be
that's intentional grounding.
Yeah.
He's not outside of the tackle box, and although he's pointing to the receiver saying, no, it was him, it was clearly an illegal throwaway. Good play from the defense on the Watchmen there to force what amounts to be a sack in that situation. Tender a lot of times will still be able to complete the pass, but the coverage was good enough that he didn't have anybody wide open.
Intentional grounding is the call. And it will be a replay of it'll be second down. They'll lose the down and 5 yards.
He had somebody open. I think
that hesitation was a big part of it, Rob. He hesitated. He saw that lineman there. He had the opportunity to run past him, if you look at the replay, he and the lineman have this the baby looked at you kind of situation. So it's like, oh, okay. It's very much a two doinks meeting each other at WrestleMania 9 kind of deal, where the first one to react was going to be the one that causes a problem and another possible issue.
If you over-pursue there as the defender, Matt, that's a touchdown from David Tender running past you. So it was actually one of the more athletic plays you'll see from a defensive end. And to be clear, David Tender usually makes that play, so that's a great play for the Watchmen.
And the Animals will go back again because it looks like it might have been a flag.
Goodness.
The referees are following. They are not going to let these calls not happen today. They are calling this game tight between the Animals and the Watchmen.
And that will be a timeout wasted from the Animals. Now, with only approximately 15 seconds left, I don't think they need all three, so it really is not going to hurt them too badly. But this is a huge stop that the Watchmen need to make because they've only stopped the Animals on the interception. So with 15 seconds left, it's going to be second and
we have some
longer than you want.
And we had some technical difficulties for a second, but we're back 2nd and 20. They have to get past the 7-yard line. Tender.
Yes. They have Snags on the line.
The snap. Snags will step back. He will spy Tender. Tender with time, looking for an option. He throws it. Caught. There's nothing open but Manny Diaz, and he gets towards the end zone. Can he walk it in at the end of the half?
Bro. Touchdown.
Do they give it to him? Do they walk it off? Wow, Manny Diaz with the tutty.
Resilience.
Tender to Diaz. That is the formula. Wow. And we go to half, 32-20. It looks like the clock might have reset. But what a play by Manny Diaz. Watch this again.
Corey, it's that zone you were talking about. Why is Manny Diaz the number one receiver
so wide open?
There's no one within 15, 20 yards. Are we okay?
He's so wide open that David Tender and Manny Diaz have a text chat going on, and Tender says, "Why do you have green bubbles?"
Come on, man. That's a poor job on the defense right there.
Going for 2 for 10. David Tender trying to toss this one back. This one is a wild and wacky play, and that one will yield no points, but still a 2-score lead for the Animals as we are at halftime.
Wow.
David Tender and Manny Diaz walk it off. The Watchmen defense are going to have to strategize in game plan as we are at halftime. When we return, we'll have highlights, stats, scores, and more as the Animals look to assert that they're at the top of the league, 32-20. It's the A7FL Games of the Week. We'll be back with more in just a moment. We're back live on the A7FL Games of the Week, and we are brought to you by our friends over at Scene. Are you an online creator or business owner managing oceans of live and recorded video? Well, head on over to Scene. That's SEEN.com. That's SEEN.com. We take a look at the stats so far. 197 passing yards, 131 rushing yards. The only place the Watchmen are keeping pace or keeping stride or getting ahead is on return yards, 105 to 100. The Watchmen will get the ball at halftime, but one turnover apiece for the Animals. It was costly for the Watchmen. A little less costly. It was a 4th down play, but I think both yielded scores as we are live here on the A7FL Games of the Week. Rob, Corey, what's your takeaway looking at the stats here from the first half?
Very surprising for the rushing yards on the Animals, being that most of the things I've seen was David Tender just running all over the place along with Omari. So I'm surprised they're not over the 200 mark for rushing. I'm pretty sure Corey's very happy to see that 197 for the passing, though. That's an impressive stat line right now for the first half. These guys are doing well. Offense is doing well, defense. And when you look at the Watchmen stat line, it looks like their defense is doing well. And that's pretty much telling you the story of the game right now.
And the type of effect that David Tender as a quarterback has on a defense, it is obvious in the stats when you look at what he's able to produce. But also, when you just kind of get the feel of the game, what we're watching here is a Watchmen defense that looks confused at times during the play. They're not sure if they want to rush him full speed. They don't know how or who to cover down the field. He's able to get free and attack on the run when it's a called pass, and then when he calls a run play, they're almost like anticipating it being David Tender that beats them. So whether it's Amari Thomas or Mike Liberty, they're getting the yardage that they need. I think that there's something that's happening that I'm coming to realize this season. Remember, Rob, all those quarterbacks from we'll call it the before David era, the BDE. That's a good acronym, right, guys?
Sure. No.
So
the before David era shirts coming to A7FLshop.com, but we take a look at highlights here. But
the quarterbacks from the quarterbacks from that era are all now phasing out, and we're getting guys like Anthony Service. We're getting guys, obviously, that we know about from, for instance, the Scott Hamiltons from the Insomniacs. We're getting, obviously, probably the leader of the pack is David Tender. And then you add in the Sterry Codrington. You add in now the what's that kid's name? Canyon Stone King.
Kenyon Stone King from Sick With It. You have
which is probably a top 10 name.
That is an elite football name.
That's a crazy.
It sounds like he played for the All-American Football Conference, like someone. Kenyon Stone King for the Los Angeles Rams of the All-American Football Conference.
He sounds like
a protagonist. He sounds like a protagonist in like an American.
He's on Wags,
where it's just
Kenyon Stone.
Yeah, he's a novel. He's a fictional character at this point. He's also 6'7", which is
that
what
is
my son
nuts.
says for some.
But Rob, Corey, let's take a look at the chat at a7fl.com/chat. You see Isaiah Rodriguez, the tight end, Gonzalez, Isaiah Gonzalez has had an impressive showing these first couple of games, and now that we know that he's more than smurfing around on that field.
He's a huge weapon.
We're retiring Papa Smurf. He's IG Live now.
Yeah, IG Live. I like that one.
IG Live is fire.
And this Animals offense has been live like an RTU on a Friday night. Let's take a look at the chat. Trevor Narlock on a7fl.com/chat. Diaz showing why he's a star in a wide receiver 1 material. And Marcellus Pack showing why he is one of the most dangerous returners, a perennial favorite for the Returner of the Year award. And 43-6, the Crusher leading the Octane. Thank you to Cole Gardella. Trevor Narlock loving what we're seeing from this Animals offense. And I want to agree with Rabbit70. Pack a dog. And this play right here. Sir, this one got called back. But sir, no. It took the Watchmen 3 times on one drive to get 6 points on the board after various penalties.
That takes the energy out of you too. Like you 3 different scoring plays on the same drive because they kept getting called back. I'm telling you, that does something to your mind. You have to reset from that.
And Rob, Corey,
but also look at the other ways that they score. Oh my bad.
No. Continue.
Look at the other ways that they score. They have to score 3 times when they get a great return from Pack Money and only have 10 yards to go. Off the interception, they only have 38 yards to go, and they still had to convert it on a 3rd and goal after a penalty. And then at the end of the half, to get their 20th points, they have to call the trick play that won them the game against the Rare Breed, against the Nightcrawlers 4 years ago in Delaware. And they missed on the Maryland special that they already called. They're going so deep in their bag just to keep pace with the Animals. And then with 15 seconds left, they let up what you guys are saying is the number 1 target for David Tender is so wide open that they actually downloaded the app and opened up the Signal chat and sent it to Jeff Goldblum.
Whether you're on the Atlantic coast, the Pacific coast, and the Great Lakes, it don't matter. Thank you so much for joining us here on the A7FL Games of the Week. And just this toss back here. Number 4, Kasim Perry. We talk about Manny Diaz being the number 1 option. Watchmen defense doing a good job of keeping him secluded up until the end of the first half. But Tender has had a ton of options and a ton of opportunities. But snags Sosa here on this play. And I think they were trying to go for that with that Baltimore special later on in this half. But the throw from Tender on the back foot, trying to get it to one of 2 receivers. And Carlos Crosland reaching out and grabbing it.
That's just a phenomenal defensive play from Carlos Crosland. Going up one-handed, the height he got for that, this ability to secure the catch, and then get like 40 yards on the run, that was just phenomenal.
A little bit
without Carlos Crosland, this game is a blowout.
Interesting point, Corey. That he on offense and defense, we'll see it here on offense. Crosland just setting it up on the extra point. but a big play on both sides of the ball have kept the Watchmen in this. Corey, Rob, you guys have been on the wrong side of the scoreboard at halftime and have had to make adjustments. Going up against a team with so many weapons on both sides of the ball, for the Animals, Crosland just showing that cannon of an arm. How do you make these adjustments and keep the Animals and that pressure off of you long enough to mount a comeback as the Watchmen get it first?
If I'm the Watchman, I start Carlos Crosland and just prepare our offense to just be running with Carlos right now. Let Buck call the plays from the sideline, but as you can see, when they needed it the most, it's been Carlos Crosland's name and playmaking has gotten them to where they're at. Like Corey said, without Carlos Crosland, if he decided to stay home today, this game's a blowout.
Corey?
Well, when you go into the half and you're down, you got to look at two things. What are we doing that's working and improve on it? And what are we doing that's killing us? And you got to make the adjustment. So whatever they're doing to guard the receivers downfield, in my opinion, they're completely leaving that mid-range type of pass, whether it's the out route or the in route or a deep cross. That's completely wide open every single time. And all David Tender has to do is avoid the pressure long enough to find his open receiver. So they have to make that adjustment. But what I will say is there are times where they're getting pressure on Tender, and they have to be able to manufacture that pressure and keep it up. So I don't know if it's just adjusting the rushing lanes just to make sure that he doesn't get those breakaway runs.
And there's that Baltimore special that went completely off the rails.
And that's where to me it looked like my hypothesis of Buck not looking like he's 100%
right
there passing wise. That's the biggest red flag you could see. That's an easy touchdown. Now that I'll be honest, guys, when somebody's that wide open, it's sometimes hard to hit him. But Snags is fast enough. If you just throw just a lollipop to him, he's probably getting to the 30, 20-yard line. But the conundrum that they're facing on offense is, yeah, Carlos Crosland's been able to make the plays. That play he made to get the 2-point where he made 4 guys miss and he still threw that bullet.
Right.
That's amazing execution. But the play call was sorry at best. They're going to have to figure out how to take advantage of Buck's play calling and Carlos Crosland's hot hand as an actual playmaker.
Right.
And that's tough to do because it's going to be hard for Buck to run to the sideline, call a play, run out. Because if you watch him in a huddle, he's actually with geriatrics. He's moving his hands around. He's pointing where guys are going to go. He's designing the play in real time in that huddle most of the time. So without that communication, without that field general and elite mind that he has, do the Watchmen have enough as far as personnel to maybe overcome that? We'll see.
And folks, if you want to see how to get more out of your video, utilize the interactive AI video tools presented by Scene. See what it does at A7FL.tv and see what it can do for your business. Go to SEEN.com. That's Scene, SEEN.com, or scan the QR code now and unlock your monetization potential with our partners over at Scene. 32-20 is your score at halftime. The Silk City Animals, the number 1 team in the top 7 panel, at the top of the league. But in the second half, guys, Baltimore starts with the ball. What are you predicting to happen? What are the things you're seeing? And then we'll get to talking about our 4 o'clock matchup, the BIC taking on the Patterson U. If you want to watch that contest live anywhere around the world, find out how at a7fl.com/watch. Corey, what do you think is going to happen in the second half?
Well, the best way in the A7FL to turn the pencil around and with the rubber side scratch out the previous drive that the Animals had is with a 3-on-1 return with no time off the clock to cut it from the 12 that it is now to a 1-score game. And when you're asking for that to happen, no better guy maybe in this league, arguably, than last year's leader in 3-on-1 touchdowns, Marcellus Pack, who had 9 last year for BIC. Now, he already had the really long return that set up the first touchdown for the Watchmen, but they could really use a quick 6 with 0 time off the clock, put the pressure solely back into David Tender's, let's be honest, capable hands. But if the Watchmen need a spark, they're glad to have a guy like Pack Money back. And it's going to have to be him either getting a great return to give them good field position, or maybe just, just completely erase that last drive before the half with a crib six. What do we call a 3-on-1 return in short term?
House
A crib
call?
six?
House call.
A
Yeah.
house call. Listen, he's got to take a long trip down 95, and if he's going to take it, he might as well start it with a return to start off the second half with no time off the clock and 6 points up on the board easily.
What about you, Bachata Bob?
Honestly, right now, I feel like the momentum has shifted into the Watchmen. I know they're down. I still have the Animals winning. But if the Animals do not make the proper adjustments to contain Carlos Crosland, then it's going to be a very long second half for the Animals. I can say that.
Will the Watchmen find a way to get to the top rope and catch a vibe, or will the Animals make sure they swerve when they drive? We'll come back with your second half in just a moment. It's the A7FL Games of the Week. We're back with the A7FL Games of the Week, brought to you by Scene. I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond. And Rob, it has been a caustic afternoon for the Watchmen defense. They might get one step closer here, down 32-20 as they get the untimed down to start our second half with the most exciting play in football, the 3-on-1 throw-off.
And again, with the slight spark that Carlos Crosland is giving these guys, if they can get some decent field position from Pack, who's been lighting it up on the 3-on-1, he's yet to score. This could be the time for him to score because he's that electric. But again, if he can get them at least decent field position, and Carlos Crosland and Buck can dial it up and allow Carlos to just showcase his amazing playmaker ability, they can score here, and we have a game.
Rob,
we'll have a more competitive game.
I want to bring up something I just saw. I opened social media and I see a notification. David Tender was live with Kasim Perry on Meta during the halftime.
What?
We talked with David Tender on A7FL in motion this week. We talked about this game. They felt confident coming in. They felt like they were going to be able to prove that they are at the top of the league. This is a team to where a lot of people looked at the Watchmen, not the Patterson U, because not a lot of people thought last week was going to happen. But they saw this game as the defining game on the Animals schedule to see if they can compete in the upper echelon of the A7FL. And right now, they're proving a lot of doubters pretty wrong, but that man Marcellus Pack looking to get some money back.
Okay,
and it's a live ball. And that is off the hands of Marcellus Pack.
Wow.
I don't know if that constitutes a flag because he made a play for the ball.
He touched the ball. Huh?
I'm unsure by that call by the official.
I'm confused.
That should.
If he touched the ball.
Yeah, Rob, he touched the ball. He made a play for the ball, and then it went out of play. That might be a minutia conversation.
Wow, I'm very confused.
Yeah,
that
might be a challenge right here. We are waiting.
Unless he's going. No, he's not going back either. I'm very confused.
Yeah, that is to the 25. Offsides on the throw-off. So that was the initial call, and Marcellus Pack met and stopped. 26-25. Justin Hamilton and Vega Rodriguez in on the tackle off the 3-on-1 throw. And the Watchmen will have another solid field position to start from, close to the 50, but not across the Rubicon here at Asbury Park Stadium. So it may be a longer drive than they wanted as the clock starts to wind in our second half. And
this is not a... OG Buck knows he is one of my favorite quarterbacks as the sun is shining out here, but not in Asbury. It's still cloudy. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks. I just think Crosland gives them the best chance right now.
And the handoff and the humble beast. Pardon me, the beefy one. Looking up, number 10. That was Dan the Man again, looking to run right through the defender. The stocky running back. Wow. Baltimore's main export seems to be stocky running backs.
I'm not going to lie to you. As an offensive lineman, I love running backs that can run, but I don't want to be behind you when you're doing all that.
4 on the line for Silk City. They bring it again at Baskerville. Tried to knock the ball out of Dan's hands. They do not get the first down, but a solid move to the 50. And the Watchmen continuing to throw the hammer around.
And right now, because I'm in the booth and I get to watch it from here, there's a bait happening. Right now, Buck is trying to get the defense angry. He's trying to get them used to this contact where it's not like everybody's running around. They're expecting a run, expecting a run. Buck is setting them up, and I'm hoping that they have enough discipline to see that and not fall for the okie doke because it's coming.
And with an hour and 3 minutes until we are live with the BIC and the U, one of the biggest matchups on the regular season schedule. We roll on here 32-20. Animals taking on the Watchmen. And the Watchmen handed off to Aubrey Minor. Beefy, the man who usually plays tight end. We've seen him come out of the backfield a few times today.
He was tight end. He was definitely tight end. That's their tight end dive that they're famous for running as well. Again, shouts to the Animals defense for staying disciplined because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for you to over pursue or just be a little overzealous so they can exploit that.
It's rare you can see all 7 defensive players in the same shot, but here, the Animals strike. Big play there. Baskerville set it up, and a player is down on the field after the tackle. And it looks like OG Buck is down, and that again is Vega Rodriguez in on the sack. We'll have a timeout here as it looks like OG Buck is hurt.
I mean, I didn't see how he could have gotten hurt. The only thing I could have seen, maybe the wind got knocked out of him when he was yanked down because, again, I didn't see anything in particular that would have warranted like a crazy hit. And look at his feet placement.
Ooh, it might have been his knee.
Oh, yeah.
It might have been his knee. His
knee.
We will take a brief timeout and let's take a look at the replay again of this play.
It's rough, yeah.
You see the pressure from Baskerville, and you see holding.
His
and
leg.
It hyperextends the knee.
Yeah. You hate to see it.
The leg was trapped on the tackle, not... you hate to see that. It looks like he can move the leg. It might have just been...
hyperextended, and that doesn't feel good either.
No, I can only imagine that level of pain. We'll be back with more in a moment. Get your Gator Tech shiesty now. We are presented by Gator Tech. Use the code A7FL25 for 10% off. Go to G8RTech.com. That's G8RTech.com. Get the Gator Skin shiesty shown to reduce concussion risks by up to 79% at G8RTech.com. That's Gator Tech. Matt Ryan here with Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond. A7FL Games of the Week. Carlos Crosland now in at quarterback. Launches. This one intercepted.
Oh, no. You hit. Oh, and that's
that
long.
one gets ducked. Robert Long cuts through one defender. Robert Long near the sideline and will be brought down at the 41-yard line. And Crosland, that cannon of an arm, deters him on first down, and it will be the Animals with the ball in the third quarter. Rob, you're looking. Let's take a look at this replay.
I mean, again, Long. I said Long's name earlier. Pause. I said Robert Long's name earlier because I do admire his play. He's pretty good, and I think he's very underrated as a defender. This is his second interception on his second quarterback today. He is a threat down there, and even though I thought Carlos was going to be able to go out there and do something explosive, he turns the ball over. And he's going to let these guys do their thing now.
A handoff to Liberty and immediately met and stopped at the line by Devin Lane. Devin Lane providing no lanes for Mike Liberty. It'll be second in an uncomfortable amount.
I'm not really
in
a fan
general,
of that
the Animals.
call.
Well, in general, the Animals have blocked better this year than in years past, which is one of the reasons why they've been more effective. But there are still times where they're absolutely just a jailbreak out there.
Yeah, I mean, even on teams I've been on with the best linemen I've ever played with, we've let things like that happen off miscommunication.
Three wide receivers set. Tender on 2nd and 14. Rolls out. Throws to the sideline. Caught. That's
KP
Kasim
again.
Perry. Kasim Perry gets through the defender. Gets the first down. Gets past the defender, and it's a foot race. Slip. Slide. He tries to take it in, and he can't, and he will be called out of play inside the 20-yard line. And you see Baltimore running out of gas on I-95.
And again, it's that
for KP.
But again, it's that mid-range route, wide open. And it's not even like Tender's throwing it to him on time. He's not turning him he's not throwing the ball as he turns and gets open. There's just a man just completely uncovered. I don't think it's acceptable for a defense to have 7 to 12 yards from the receiver to the closest defender.
Yeah,
I understand that they have to maintain the rush lanes because Tender is such a dangerous threat on the ground. But again, this is a situation where there's nobody even in the frame at first that looks like they were in man coverage against.
And then they held Manny Diaz because their focus is Manny Diaz. But it's as you're saying.
Not at the end of the half.
That was the call. The flag, by the way, was holding on the defense. I want to thank our staff, Alex and David Soberman. I want to thank Ryan DePaul, our producer, and Asbury Park, and also Jaquan Mason, our score hat, Zach Morgan on highlights, Cole Gardella on stats. I'm Matt Ryan alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond. First and goal for the Animals. And the Animals' first throwing touchdown of the day for the Animals. Well, it's in the second touchdown. That is a big play. Liberty, 2 Tender, touchdown.
Listen,
Silk City.
It's there again. If we watch the replay on this, there is a defender that is supposed to be responsible for Mike Liberty, who is the inside guy on the trips. He's the closest man to the edge of the line of scrimmage. And when he breaks out to the corner, watch this. When he breaks out to the corner, his defender just stands there. That's Ant Lowe. What are you doing?
And Tender had his 4th running touchdown of the day, too. You saw a complete open lane. He could have tied the record there. Instead, he throws it to Liberty, making it 38.
So what's the call here, Corey? What defense are they calling to allow such foolishness?
That's that nonsense where guys are just like, oh, it's a switch. No, it's not a switch if not everybody's switching.
CJ back in now for the Animals on the extra point, and that one was a rifle to Kasim Perry. Perry did not know where that was going, and that one will make it 38-20. But David Tender, one more time, lighting up the scoreboard, whether with his legs or his arms. Big Rob Fabian, that man is surely marketable. But our 4 o'clock matchup is certainly going to be a banger. It's TPG Sports is the official uniform provider of the A7FL. Custom athletic uniforms for athletes of all sports and ages. Get a custom A7FL jersey now. Get a personalized team jersey at A7FLshop.com.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a David Tender jersey, man. DT3, man, because there's no way you're not a fan after this. Like the things that he's able to do, and he's done it back to back to two teams a year ago, 2 years ago, that you can argue that are 2, 3, 1, 2, or 3 any given week. Watchmen or the U, 1, 2, or 3. And that always depends on where BIC is. But the animals are systematically knocking these guys off.
And Mr. Marketable, again, I just got a text. There's multiple fast food companies now trying to get Mr. Marketable for the chicken tender situation.
Oh my goodness!
And right now that ball is
oh my God!
Live ball. Animals get it. Animals get it. The animals get the ball. They may not get the tutty, but they get the ball back on a live ball, and they are feasting. They are eating good in the neighborhood. No chilies, no chill. Big play. Animals with the stop, and they get the ball back.
For any long-time fans of the A7FL, and I'm talking 10, 15 years, however long you've been here, this is that. This is exactly what you think it is, the changing of the guard. And this is not what it was 2-3 years ago. And this is a brand new A7FL, guys.
And that is a man that has been one of the most prodigious returners in our league's history. Marcellus Pack not able to hold on to the ball, and now Tender on first down. Steps up, and it is incomplete. Intended for Gonzalez, almost picked off. And that is key. Oh, number 12. That is Isaiah, a.k.a. Zay, not able to make the play, looking for a call. And we'll see what it is. Will Franklin, one of our senior officials here today. That's not him there in the shot, but...
Very interesting.
What's arms stretched out straight on the defense?
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Oh, from number 12.
On Isaiah.
What did he say? He must have said something to the ref about somebody's family member.
I read his lips. He said, "What the fudge?" You know.
Half the distance to the goal. It'll be a first down, and the Watchmen.
Guess the refs don't like chocolate.
No, they like the Neapolitan. They like a choice of flavors.
Oh, Neapolitan is so good. You know, I didn't know how to pronounce that for the longest. I used to call it
Neapolitan?
Yeah, Napoleon.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Brooklyn kids.
Yes.
Brooklyn kids.
Yes.
Tender on first and goal. Rolls out. The toss. The catch.
Oh, my
God. Animals. That man is an animal. He doesn't smurf around.
Oh,
touchdown, Isaiah. Oh, that's Davila. That is Davila. Noel Davila on the touchdown.
Is that him or did he switch jerseys? Because Gonzalez's jersey is like torn into tatters.
It might be Garcia. It might be Gonzalez.
I can't even
tell. No
tell.
touchdown. Holding on the offense. Holding on the offense.
Take a look how he extends his body for this.
Oh, that is Gonzalez. That is the big man. That is Isaiah Gonzalez. He's just wearing
IG Live.
IG Live with the tutty, wearing 22 because that 80
his
jersey
is destroyed.
It's destroyed and hung up in the metaphorical A7FL Hall of Fame.
Yeah, next to the Corey Hammond from last year. Mine was worse.
Yeah, yours was tattered.
Well, I can't get away as easy as IG Live can.
So they will go for it again. First and goal from the 18. Tender. Time. Throws it off the hands. Off of Kasim Perry's shoulder. Tried to back shoulder it, and it'll be second down.
Come on, KP. He's throwing you a strike. Right? I mean, at this point, is there a sense of urgency if you're David Tender to make sure you score on this drive? Like, does it? I mean, it matters overall.
I think the statement, yeah. If the Watchmen had to work so hard in the red zone to score on the Animals, and they can show, hey, we were able to walk it in on you. They're trying to control the momentum, and I think they're trying to send a message.
Well, how about this? When does David Tender look like he's under any type of urgency? Everything's so chill and easy back there.
Second down, Tender
just chilling.
Throws it.
The chill guy.
Caught.
Oh, my God.
Chilling.
Oh, my God. Yeah, how are you not a fan?
Diaz, the CEO.
How are you not a fan?
This team has completely turned the league on its ear.
Guys, David Tender is so marketable. I just got a text from a company that's not even open on Sunday that's willing to potentially open just for the 6-piece, number 6, Tender.
Manny Diaz filleting the defense here on this one. Tender stepping up in the pocket. No sauce, all steak, right into the pocket. No need. They are open 1 day a week, and they are always serving 6 on the board, 44-20, looking to be the 60 boys one more time, Rob.
And it's as you said, Corey, he never looked stressed at all. He was a chill guy in the pocket. Look at this, a little bit of pressure. KP
looking for the option. He will just keep it. He'll skate inside the 10, inside the 5. He won't get there. It'll remain 44-20. But with 8:24 left to go in the third, we continue to roll here on the A7FL Games of the Week. And if you're the Trenton BIC right now, getting ready to play the Patterson U, you're a team that's not where you want to be yet. You're still undefeated. You still have a lot to prove. But right now, if you're the BIC or if you're the Watchmen, you're thinking you need to get taped up. You need those ankles ready for whatever comes at you. Get taped up like a pro. Professional athletic training services to athletes of all sports and ages. Go to tapemeup.net. That's tapemeup.net. Or scan the QR code now.
Did you see his face on the behind the screen while Matt was talking? Does that look like a face that's under pressure or is facing urgency?
Nope. Not even a little bit.
And I think that's really the key to his effectiveness early on in his career. He's just able to just go out there, smile, have a great time. Nothing affects him. His eyes stay down the field.
Corey, let's remember his first play in A7FL history
Pick
was an interception. I thought this kid was doo-doo water. He's amazing.
Manny Diaz with his 5th receiving touchdown of the year. He ties Kason Campbell, the player we're going to watch for league leader. And now Marcellus Pack looking for redemption. Marcellus Pack gets brought down at the 46, but he holds on to the ball and a flag on the play.
Horse collar.
And it'll be a horse collar tackle, and the Animals will give the Watchmen some more room to roam.
We have to really dissect that rule, because that's really the only way that the Animals defender there is going to be able to make that tackle on a guy who's racing down. You can't really break down because you're going to lose speed.
Oh my God, the Huss is crazy.
So he has to really just reach out there. You can't break down and use your shoulder there. He's too fast.
That's no good.
So I get the safety, and look, you got to take the 15 yards. It's better than touchdown.
You have to.
Yeah, it's the penalty. It's the penalty or the tutty. Not what you want on either side of the ball, but it will be 1st and 10. Baltimore returning after the interception.
And you see it's Buck that comes back in at quarterback, and he's going to have to start making some plays in the air. He's called a good game as far as play calling, and the 20 points that they have put up is in my opinion, relatively impressive facing the adversity that they have. But now they're down by more than twice as much as they've already put up.
Right. And it's a tall order.
And right now they move back another 5 yards after the penalty. An empty backfield for Buck in motion, play action. The throw down the screen.
Oh my God!
Brought down immediately.
No, this
Cousin Man, right?
No, but hear me out. This is weird. Cousin Man gets blocked into the tackle, so he doesn't even know. Listen, if you replay it, Cousin Man doesn't even know he's gonna make the hit. He just gets tossed into it, so he doesn't make an attempt to wrap at anything. Take a look at the block. Look,
and here it is. Here it is, right here. This is the go-to. This is the go-to play for OG Buck when he brings in Ant Mo, who's the receiver who caught that. They always go play action, rocket screen. So I had to hold back from calling that pre-play, but it'll bring up 2nd and long, because even the plays that always work for Buck aren't.
They got Crosland back out there, as they should.
Crosland immediately in trouble. Launches a rocket. This one deep, and it extends beyond the receiver.
But, I mean, you still want to throw it where if your guy can't catch it, you got to make sure the other guy can't either. So
Robert Long was keeping stride for stride with Pack there.
Yeah, Robert Long he might be one of them. One of those corners. Take a look at the block. Take a look at Cousin Man. Look, He gets pushed.
Oh wow!
He gets pushed into that tackle.
And then you see 53. He's like, why are you going that way? D. Redmond was confused by all of that.
I pushed him that way. Yeah, listen.
It's a rocket screen. That's the point of attack on a rocket screen.
And they need to switch him.
Listen, we know that Cousin Man knew the play call. He was there by design.
Yeah, that's a fact too.
This is third and ridiculously long. They still go backstack.
3rd and 15. Crosland with Buck behind him. The snap. Crosland in trouble. Crosland will have to rely on his legs to create something, and he is brought down emphatically. And there's a flag on the play. That was Wheeler on the tackle.
Wow. And I think Wheeler's the guy I was looking at last week that was like extremely fast, was getting off the edge, doing well. You know, unless that's a holding call. He's saying he dipped.
Nah, it's going to be the same
They'll move it up.
Call.
Personal foul.
So let's take a look
at this. Type of call. Listen, again, this is I hate to ever criticize the refs, but this is a tough play for anybody to make. The problem is he's too high.
He neck tackled him.
He's way too high. If you're going to tackle somebody, you got to get lower than the neck. So I appreciate the call there. But I'm going to be honest, if I was out there having to tackle some of these guys, I would do whatever it takes. And I'd still fail.
And guess what? I understand, agree, and respect it, but this, you got to call this.
Yeah, you got to call that. That's the right call. Buck throws to the sideline. Caught! Can he get there? Touchdown, Baltimore!
And Mo with the tutty. Good job by Buck. Again, I'm very surprised Buck is staying in to do this. It's wow.
Oh, that play gets called back.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it looked like it was an illegal formation. I'm not sure.
Formation play. Ooh.
I'm not sure if they were all set when they called it because it was one of those goofy formations again. And they try to rush it, and when they send a guy in motion, if everybody's not set, that motion's illegal, right? If you're going to call a play, guys have to literally be stationary. If you're going to call the motion, they have to be stationary for a full 1 second count once they get set up. And having that motion kind of messes it up there. And you saw over there was number 8, the freight train, Terrell Burks. I don't know if he's even really legally eligible to be out there when they called the play.
That's true.
I think that was Davis with the reception.
No, that was Aunt Mo.
That was Aunt Mo? Okay.
Yeah, that was Aunt Mo. Very interesting to see what they call. I mean, the formation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 guys on the. I don't know. Wait, no, he gets
wow.
off.
Wait.
It might be.
Listen, 1, 2. Ooh, is he on the side? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Carlos Crosland is not set for a full second. He's still in motion, so that's definitely illegal.
Oh yeah, no, he's moving. Snags moves as well before.
Oof.
This is rough.
Not what you
want.
want.
No, wait, am I tripping? Is that Pack? Is that Pack behind him?
No, he got off the field. So I don't think it was the 8 guys. What I think the penalty is
it's
because
under
they go
official review. All scoring plays are automatically reviewed.
Right.
But there was a flag thrown.
Well, here's the thing. When they go in that backstack, Carlos Crosland took forever to actually get set up in the backstack.
Right.
So then they call Hefe in that jet motion to create that action away from the play side.
And Snag leans as that's happening as well. So I don't know. It could be any one of those things.
The rule is if you're going to set a guy in motion, only one guy can be in motion at a time. So if you're going to be shifting, and I do it all the time. I try to make sure that this doesn't happen. If you shift or you're going into a weird formation, everyone has to be set for at least a 1 count.
Too many men on the field was the confirmed call.
Oh, that they're going to call that. Then listen, it's all kind of the same thing. Procedure, miscommunication, guys running around, not sure where they're going to end up. It's a shame though, because that was the best pass that Buck's thrown today.
And if you paid attention, he can't move. Buck's not stepping up, nor is he stepping back. He's staying stationary, using it. Look.
And here we go on first and 20. He's brought down, and a flag on the play. It might have been another high tackle.
But he's costing his team, and shame on his team for allowing him to stay out there.
It's holding.
But his team shouldn't allow him to stay out there.
That looks like it's going to be another one of those horse collar tackles.
Oh, yep,
from
it's
Trey
on the
Baskerville.
defense. Yep, and it'll be give them new life on first down.
He can't move. Why is he out there?
Oh, yeah, no, he's dragging that back leg, Rob.
He shouldn't be out there.
Oh, he grabbed him by the jersey. He tried to.
Honestly, it looked like Trey Baskerville was held before.
It did look like that, and that's probably why
it's not going to be called. And I'm not necessarily narking on anybody. Obviously, I am.
You can't hear us.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 25.
Oh, they can hear me.
5 minutes remaining.
Baltimore knows every single time I narc. They actually send me a text after every game.
They just
you get a lot of text.
He's a busy man. He keeps quite the schedule. The snap, Buck on first down. Baskerville chases after the throw, and somehow
Crosland.
Do they get
Is
it?
that
Crosland?
Absolutely, Crosland.
Listen, bro.
Touchdown, Baltimore.
If Carlos Crosland said, I'm going to stay home today, the weather's bad, we are not even looking at a score anywhere close to this.
What a play.
And unfortunately, I think Buck is down after the touchdown pass. That's a great throw.
Carlos Crosland on defense, quarterback, wide receiver, it doesn't matter. He has proven that potential that we've talked about. Watch here again. The fake sidearm, the Jeter-style sidearm, and then Buck loads up. And then, Trey Baskerville bumps into him.
Yeah, that's a soft
Crosland.
bump, I don't think that added to anything. I think he's been hurting out there for a while.
But Crosland with listen, I'm a man. Like, I'm a grown man catch.
Yeah,
One hand,
I was about to make this. Crosland with the hairstyle, with the beard, he's in his GAM era.
Yeah.
GAM, grown blank man. He is GAM right now, and he is making every play that he can, except for a couple of those throws. The one interception we're going to take away from because, it is what it is. 3rd and forever.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You just chuck it. But we haven't seen a better catch this season, in my opinion, than what we just saw with tight coverage from the Animals defender and a great throw from OG Buck as he limps to the sideline.
You can never be upset at that defense. Like, you don't go back to the sideline and said, "Oh, you suck." Like, no, he played great. Like, what do you want him to do? Carlos made a great play. This is just
Crosland.
Well, we won't even say that Long came up short there either.
No. Great.
Long was playing for the ball, and now Crosland.
Oh, they're going after him.
Throws this one, whips it, cannot get it. So it'll be 44-26, 4:39 on the day. 1 passing touchdown, 1 receiving touchdown, 1 INT, and the fast stat on your left-hand side there. And with a lot of football left, just under 20 and a half minutes in this one. A lot of football left to be played. But folks, if you're loving the action, if you want to be a part of the action, if you want to bring an A7FL team to your city, if you want to bring more than one team to your city, go to a7fl.com/owners. Head on over there right now and bring your team to Brooklyn. Bring your team to Baton Rouge. Bring it to Atlanta, Denver. Bring it to wherever you want the future of football. Go to a7fl.com/owners and join us today. Matt Ryan joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond on the A7FL Games of the Week. Coming up at the top of the hour, it'll be the BIC and the U throwing things off right here from Asbury Park. Shout out to Trevor Narlock in the chat. Mizzle 2183, Mitch NAR. That one, what a catch. What a day. Mizzle 2183 saying DT3 MVP, making it look too easy. Right now, Rob, Corey.
And just a quick math update for everybody that's a huge fan of counting and such. That 2-point conversion could have cut it to 2 scores, only 16. But now I think it's 18, gentlemen. That's 3-score games. So that 2-pointer was huge.
You got to score and at least get an extra point to take the lead. That is a live ball, and that is picked up. Divine Apps will be essentially lariated at the 35, punching the turf. He wants to get a tutty today. He wants that 3. Divine Apps wants to bring it in for the 6.
And that's because when he first popped onto the scene as an Animal, that's one of the things we knew him for. I don't know if he's not getting great footing or the Watchmen are just doing that great of a job at containing him, but he hasn't been the explosive monster I know he can be on that 3-on-1. And I do want to point something out. The Animals are winning convincingly without their star running back. Let's just really let's
speak about the recruiting and the structure of this Animals team. A team that for years in the A7FL was hanging around in the basement, but the last 3 seasons is probably one of the more impressive turnarounds we've seen in this league. Outside of the Insomniacs, year 1 to year 2. Tender rolls out to his right, throws it, caught, and they have nothing but the sideline screaming down the field. That is Kasim Perry again. Just nothing but open and has the safeties and the secondary chasing him downfield, Corey.
Watch the defense again.
Man.
Watch the defense again, because it's this switch nonsense. Because they run a post corner, which is just called a switch route. That's literally what the combination is called. Watch the outside. There's 2 defenders that go with the post, because the inside corner, we can call him a safety. He just says, "Oh, we're gonna switch here, guys. I'm just gonna cover the guy that's not burnt us for over 150 yards in the air so far."
KP is destroying them.
Tender, 1st and goal. Well, 1st and 10 from the 10. Is it going to be number 4?
Oh my God.
Is it going to be number 4? David Tender ties the modern record of rushing touchdowns with 4, dancing his way into the end zone.
Oh,
the
man.
50 boys are back.
So a quarterback that's already thrown for probably over 250, 270 yards has set the rushing record as well.
The single-game rushing touchdown record.
Against a team that I don't think that this is hypothetically, is the Baltimore super team.
Yeah.
And I just got a text. There. I got a text just now from a GM in this league that had talking about the Crosland catch as one of the craziest catches of the season, and the animals are scary.
They are.
But the word has gotten out. The animals back up. The 50 boys on the back of that.
Oh, my goodness.
Now trying to make it look a little too easy. Tosses it back.
He can still throw it forward.
He can still throw it forward, but will he jog it in? He tosses it back one more time to KP. KP tosses this one back to Tender. At this point, it's schoolyard ball. And now here's an opportunity to run it on in. And he plows through the defender. The play is still live. And they get the extra point.
You don't understand. I need you guys to understand how deflating.
Show your jersey to the world, young man. That is number 33.
This is so deflating. This is, guys, this is BIC versus Las Vegas sitting in the end zone, kicking their feet up, deflating. Like, this is not what you want to see.
This is one of the most emphatic, tone-changing moments in the league, and that is number 33, Harry Gonzalez.
Excuse me.
Them Gonzalez boys be a problem.
Get your chicken
you got
nuggets.
One Gonzalez, you got 2 Gonzalez. Don't matter, 1, 2, don't matter. Another 2 points for the Silk City Animals.
6. This is nuts. This is it. And you said we never seen this before. We have. It's just a long, long time ago.
And also, I just got an interesting comp, guys.
Yeah.
The Auburn era Cam Newton teams.
Okay.
Well, it was just the 1 year, right?
Well, I think 2. I'm not sure.
The only comp in this league is BIC.
So you play in the
22
Omegas.
This is 22 BIC. 2022.
No. Not even before. When BIC was
SWG?
I'm talking about when BIC was an 0-17.
Yes,
and then the next year,
just playing around.
Yeah.
Everyone was finding out back then. SWG, that's what you were going to say?
No, I was going to say how the Animals are coming from being a team no one cared about to now.
The team in the league.
The team. BIC was on that same run along with the Chiefs and, a couple of other teams, but this is insane.
And now a return from number 19, that's DK. Butcher trying to make something happen, gets cut through and brought down at the 40, and Baltimore.
Okay. All right.
Not happy on either side.
Well, and that's the kind of thing that happens when you let up such an embarrassing play on the 2-point conversion. Because what I was going to liken that conversion to is my time with the Boston Omegas facing teams like the U who were out there just to have fun. So I'm equating games that were like, I don't know, against the U, like 60-21. I did throw for 3 touchdowns that game. But like 60-21 where the one team is so superior to the other, they just go out there and then they just smile around and have a good time.
That's blowing my mind.
That's what the animals are doing to a Baltimore super team.
Yeah, that's blowing my mind right now.
The team that we think every year is one break away from making the championship game. 22, 23, 24. Those Baltimore teams, Rare Breed or Watchmen, this is a tone shifter, and Cam Newton did play one year. But Buck back in the pocket.
Well, Cam Newton had an early part of his career where he was interested in technology at Florida.
And if you're interested in technology, utilize Scene, our sponsor. Utilize them. Go to SEEN.com. That's SEEN.com. I'm Matt Ryan alongside Corey Hammond and Big Rob Fabian. Neither of us wearing large hats, but right now watching the animals stand on business. And more people from around the league letting me know. Someone from the defending back-to-back champions saying they match their energy.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. The animals are showing absolutely no fear, and that's what the Insomniacs do.
Yeah, but the Insomniacs so far this year have played the gold.
But no. I'm not doing that to the
It's
Insomniacs.
energy. It's not. We're not gonna.
No,
we're not,
I get it. I'm not disrespecting the Insomniacs. I'm saying the energy that the Insomniacs had against the Gold, where they run that play where RTC has his back to the defense and they go Statue of Liberty.
3-yard gain on the first down, the quick screen.
Hear me
no
out,
disrespect
Corey.
to the Gold, but
hear me out, Corey. It's
No, go ahead.
2 years straight of everyone saying that the Insomniacs don't have comp, and then they come out here and win 2 chips. I have nothing to say.
They dominated.
Yeah.
Listen, they
And here come
dominated
the animals. Here come the Watchmen to the 45, first down. They are not going out without a fight.
No, they're going to be able to continue to move the ball.
Of course.
And OG Buck is my guy. That's a preview of the 7 o'clock game for the Hawks, by the way. Look at him.
OG Buck has to. That's some Corey energy that I will not get out. I don't care what my leg is hanging off by a piece of bone. I'm staying in.
The handoff again, the bounce to the outside. Marcellus Pack will be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. It's a final in the Midwest. The Crush get their first win of the A7FL season. They walk out of there 49-20 over the Octane. So they'll get into the mix in the playoff race.
Just to clarify, so I don't get hate mail from the entire West Coast, I'm not disrespecting the Insomniacs. What I'm saying is that they're saying that they have a similar energy when their previous game was against a team that has a minus 100-point differential. That is not who the Watchmen have been in this league. I'm sorry.
I get that. I just think that's not safe.
And the throw to the sideline, not there.
I don't like it. They need, as a team, the Watchmen to preserve your quarterback so you can have at least a slight chance for the rest of the season. Bench him now.
Says a guy that retired after winning a chip in his prime.
Smart man. That's all I'm hearing.
So here's the gray-haired man who is literally limping around the stadium right now and is texting my group chat to bring Advil. No, Buck, you go out there and be a man.
Oh my God.
OG Buck behind center, fakes the backstack to throw right to Beefy. That's Aubrey Minor. Beefy getting a beefy run, gets to the 15, brought down, first down Baltimore in what will be the final play of the third quarter. 45 minutes gone by, 15 minutes left to go. Will the knee of OG Buck be able to hold on and carry them into the final frame? We will find out when we keep it rolling here at the start of the fourth quarter. What a play here by Aubrey Minor to walk it off here in the third, boys.
Well, even better play from Buck by just getting it out to his playmakers. Again, it's not necessarily going to look textbook when Buck does it, but he's doing it.
And it could be a knee, it could be a ligament tear. I don't mean to play, metaphorical doctor, but we'll have more when we find out after the break. And we're back with the A7FL Games of the Week. This game is brought to you by Locker Room Chat, the official chat of the A7FL. Be a part of the conversation anywhere around the world by going to a7fl.com/chat. Rob, Corey, as we enter the fourth quarter, your thoughts?
Buck doesn't run a 5.9 anymore. He runs a 9.5, but that's all he's going to need.
The snap, the throw, gets through Crosland inside the 5.
And again, listen, I know Corey has a brand new respect for Buck. Corey's
I've never not had it.
No, you have respect for Buck. I just know you see a man in front of you right now, a guy that's willing to put his body on the line for the win, and that's your type of guy.
It's called foreshadowing. It's called foreshadowing for the 7 o'clock game. That's what I see.
I'm benching him. I love Buck. I'm benching him.
First down, Buck throws it, caught in there, touchdown Baltimore.
Rocket screen, Aunt Mo, call it.
I don't really like the dance right now.
Yeah,
they
the
down
dance.
Too much. It's kind of like what Sisson did when he ran out and then ran. Like, it was cool, but in context, it's terrible because it's like you're down.
What is the line for that? Because we've had that conversation kind of informally about when
I think the line is delineated by how old you are. Me and Rob are in the like the grumble when you get out of bed.
Wait a second, hold on now.
That ball got knocked out. That ball got knocked out.
It's being reviewed, right?
No, it's not. It's counted.
It's absolutely not.
Okay. All right.
32 to 52, trying to get 2 points to make it a 3-score game.
Yeah, ball don't lie. Anyway, I got text messages from a touchdown last week that I thought was clearly a touchdown. But, you know, the ground can't cause a fumble and all that other jazz. But, you know how it goes.
They absolutely gifted one to the Octane because it was one of those jet plays where the real Chris did a forward lateral kind of toss, and then it was a fumble. No, it was an incompletion. I was on, shout out to the All-Pro Draftals. They cut the short, and I was on there narking just on social media. And I can't help myself.
And boys, Chance House is where you can get your official gear as a fan of the A7FL. Don't just watch the game. Wear the game. Go to a7flshop.com. That's a7flshop.com. Or scan the QR code. Get some merch and let us know on social media that you are watching and that you have it. And folks, it's the fourth quarter, which means the get back is in play. It's our version of the onside play. And right now, Baltimore needs to stop the animals before the 20-yard line. Anywhere behind the 20-yard line, the Watchmen can get the ball back at the 50.
And they have the wind with the throw, so they should be able to get it deep enough.
And it'll be Freight Train throwing this one off. And that is caught.
Just the distance. Oh, my.
Harry Gonzalez has to get past the 20, and he does! Harry Gonzalez gets to the 50, pushes off his defender, and is brought down at the 41-yard line.
Nah, I don't like that tackle. They're not going to call it because it wasn't by himself, but I don't like that headlock tackle. They just called it on the other side. That's Harry Gonzalez?
Herb Dean would not be a fan of that one.
Wait, this is Gonzalez's brother?
There's another Gonzalez. His nickname is Romero. Romero on the back of the jersey.
Yeah, I need to know what they eat at home because there's no way. Look at that. That's why he headlocked him, because he got the truck.
Tried to put him in a bulldog choke.
Yeah, you're going home. Oh, my goodness.
Herb Dean should have gotten involved in that one.
So aggressive.
Start of the fourth quarter. Matt, Rob, and Corey here with you. As the Animals and David Tender on first down. Caught. Sideline, and gets pushed out of play. Corey. And that is Omari Thomas on the catch.
They're not in man coverage. They have a flood route to the right side. There's 3 wide receivers. There's 2 defenders. None of them are looking at their friend Omari Thomas. Maybe they have him in fantasy or something. I'm not sure. He's wide open, and Tender's going to find wide open guys, even if you threaten him with a big hit after the throw, which he did get hit, and he does have to protect himself up 20. But look at his face. He's unbothered.
He's the chill guy meme. Just put David Tender there.
He's just the chill guy. One
David
touchdown
Tender
away from
is
a
record. Living meme, isn't he?
He's too good, man.
He's the Newgrounds of the A7FL because he's the compendium of everything to throw to the end zone. Swatted away.
Great defense. And that's what I think, unfortunately, for the Watchmen, that's what they've been trying to focus on. stopping Manny Diaz, because for some reason in their head, it's just Manny. And it's not KP, and it's not Gonzalez, and it's not Amari.
Rob, I would be with you 100% if the end of the first half, it wasn't Manny Diaz looking down at his phone, realizing he accidentally put it on airplane mode, switching it off of airplane mode, receiving the text, and then still getting open and scoring.
I think he changed carriers along that too. I'm so glad we're back, boys.
The defensive coordinators should be fired.
The snap in trouble. Tender gets buggy whipped. The ball comes loose. The Animals end up with it. Or the Watchmen end up with it. We'll see what the call is.
No, that's a tuck rule. That's backwards.
They tucked it. We'll see what the call is. Aubrey Minor.
Let the tuck rule lay where it lays, all right? Let's leave that alone. Patriots fan.
Charles Woodson forever. That's all I'm going to say. Charles Woodson forever. Let's take a look at the play here. He kept it.
He tuck ruled it. Let's see that.
You know the craziest thing? Zoom in on his face.
He tucks
He's
it.
still smiling.
Oh, that's a. Ooh, what is that called? What do you call that?
Tuck rule.
Tuck rule. There was up to something.
See, yeah. Tuck rule.
So it will be 3rd and 14. Animals will keep the ball. The snap. Tender. Throws to the end zone. And it's almost intercepted again by Crosland.
That's what you have to do. Listen, we figured it out. The only inaccurate pass from David Tender is when you allow him a perfect pocket and force him to play quarterback without being off platform, with no pressure in his face, wide open receiver. That's how you defend him.
That's the throw that Tender can't make. The clean one. That's it, right? That's the one. Insane. No pressure, no nothing.
The one that I would pay for, literally. And here, and he's gonna be facing 4th and goal, and I guarantee you guys that he's gonna be running around like a crazy person.
And he is.
Look at
Tender
He's
rolls
running around
out,
like a crazy person.
throws it to the end zone. Caught, intercepted by Baltimore.
Is that DK? Yeah, that's DK.
DK's been playing with a lot of energy. Some would say maybe too aggressive, a little bit more aggression than he needs to. But right there on 4th down, I mean, listen, he knocks it down. They get better field position. But that is your chance to show your team that you're still able to compete with this Animals offense. And they're down 20, but they still got almost the full 4th quarter left.
They do have time, but it hasn't been easy for these guys to score.
Well, they're going to have to pull out a Gator Tech type performance. And go back in the old school. They got a former Gator in the backfield. Snags. Matt, you read it better than I do.
Get more protected. Use the Gator Skin Shiesty now and protect yourself up to 79% on concussion risk. Go to gatorskin.com. That's GatorTech.com. That's GARTech.com. The handoff. That is Snag Sosa, who will streak to the outside and get it to about the 7. It'll be 2nd and 8. 2nd and 7, pardon me. Got it to near the 9. For 2nd down, Corey, Rob, this team's on their way back. They're trying to fight here in the middle portion of the 4th quarter.
Yeah, but they already used all their trick plays, so they're in trouble.
And even still having Buck out here.
Seriously, this is where
dangerous.
Buck in trouble.
Throws
this one, swatted. That one, the pressure got to him. A great camera angle there just to get inside the play and watch that ball get swatted like a fly.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be honest. This is, I know we respect it. Buck has to go. I personally think the Animals are pulling back slightly because there's no reason to go after Buck with all this venom, and I don't feel like they're doing that. I feel like the Animals are pulling back. Okay.
I'm not saying you're 100% wrong, but
Marty Marr saying he expected better from the Watchmen. OG Buck launches this one. That one got to the 49, but neither the receiver Ant Mo or the defender were able to get there. So it will be 4th down after the interception.
And no disrespect to Marty Marr. I just faced him. Great player. But here's the thing. He expected better from the Watchmen because he's already played this Watchmen
Baltimore
team.
special. But let's see what that was. Flag on the play. Illegal.
Wah, 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 wah. Turn that off. Turn that off. It's over.
This is a really bad spot to be going for it on 4th down. I know they're down by a lot.
Bro,
But
they're crippling themselves. I'm not saying that a quarterback can't stand in the pocket in this league and go crazy, but even Corey Hammond had rushing yards first week of the season
and second week, and
so
it was an illegal motion on the offense.
let's not forget that he's basically shutting off maybe a quarter more of what he can do, the stepping up, the stepping back, stepping to the side.
Stepping into
the first offensive play of the game, I think, was Buck taking off for like 40 yards.
Come on, man. Now you're taking that away, keeping Crosland at wide receiver and telling everybody, hey, just block like your lives depended on it. I'll be fine. That's dangerous.
Fourth down in the wrong part of town. Throws it to Ant Mo. Can Ant Mo get there? And he is brought down. The ball is loose. We'll see what the call is. Ant Mo tried to extend
wasn't down.
it.
He wasn't
it's
down.
Animal's ball.
He wasn't.
Either
he
way, he doesn't get far enough. He's got to get to, I think, the 16. He gets to the 15, and whether it's a fumble or just a down by contact, it's a turnover. Either way, he's got to get to the 16-yard line. So you see him, he's at the 10. He needs 6 more yards. The furthest he gets is the 15 if he reaches. He's nowhere near the first down marker.
The Virginia Heathens are 2-1. They defeated the Buzz 38-14.
Shout out to Ryan Burrows. He's a good guy.
And we'll see Captain American action more often on the games of the week. We'll be heading down to Baltimore a little later this season. We see the replay here.
Oh, this
That's
is a tuck
such a
rule
cool
play.
The tuck rule play in our last
Captain
drive.
America.
Yeah, that's another one of the new wage quarterbacks.
Is he though? We've seen him before.
This is him and Tender are in their second
not
season.
Games of the week.
His type of quarterback, we've seen that before.
And we
No,
see the
no,
play
I'm not saying
here.
the type of quarterback.
Review of the last play.
I'm saying specifically the human beings themselves.
Yeah, no, for sure.
See if this is a fumble.
And honestly, I have not seen somebody play as
Ooh, let's see.
No, he never
doesn't touch the ground, at least from the angle we see. He's on
his
top of
elbow
a body.
His elbow might have.
Jamar Wheeler basically used himself as a buffer. It confirmed as a fumble.
Yeah, it was a no-win situation there anyway. Even if they didn't call the fumble, it wasn't
there was
long
nothing.
enough for first
there
down.
was nothing they could do here. But again, I think keeping Buck in is hurting them.
1st and 10 from the 21, the throw, and that was mistimed, intended for Hakeem Perry, and it will be 2nd down.
Finally,
but they did
pressure.
it. But Rob, they did it not put in just Crosland, right? They still gave Crosland the opportunity. Hey, Crosland, you do your thing. But when you take Crosland from the wide receiver position and put him at quarterback, or you take Buck out of the huddle, you're losing 2 of their best weapons right there. We've seen what Crosland can do at a wide receiver, and when he's playing quarterback with Buck in the huddle. So
Buck's out. Buck's out of the game. Half of his ability.
They're on defense. That's why.
Offense, court.
On 2nd down, Tender in trouble. Ball comes
Fumble.
loose, but that will bounce out of play, and the Animals will keep it.
Yeah, it did.
It bounced on the line. Either way, a little bit of soccer to make sure it went out of play. The clock will continue to run, and they will mark that out of play at around the 35-yard line, so it'll be 3rd and about 15.
This is what we needed from the Watchmen defense earlier in this game. They've been, last 2 drives, at least down here on this side of the field, they've been playing well. But here you look at the clock. Tick, tick, tick. They need to score 3 touchdowns, 6 minutes. They only have 3 timeouts. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, watching the A7FL, the clock does not stop
at
on
all.
Incompletions, and it only will stop on change of possession until the 2-point conversion.
And until the 2-minute warning as well.
Oh, I said 2-point conversion. I'm sorry. I meant
the 2-minute warning. It's okay, Corey. I've done that an inordinate amount of times, and I also got the math wrong. It's not 3rd and 15. It's 3rd and 24 from the 35-yard line. They have to get inside the 10 to make it end goal territory. Tender looking for another 6, and it's out of KP's hands. He couldn't get it in time, so it'll be 4th down. Both KP and Diaz were tracking it.
Wide open.
Yeah, but that's another 2 offensive players to the 1 guy in frame for the Watchmen. Listen, I am not a fan of zone in 7-on-7.
Me neither.
Let's just do the math. Let's just do the math. If you're rushing 3, That means you're asking 4 guys to cover from the line of scrimmage to the goal line, like the whole field with just 4 guys playing zone where they're flat-footed and they can't even respond to the cuts and the motions. I don't know. I don't
zone
know
doesn't
much
work.
about defense.
Zone doesn't work here unless you have to have the players for a zone, like insane players for a zone. You're asking a lot.
It'll be 4th and 24. Tender from the 35-yard line. Will spin back, swim, evade. He will step up and get on his bicycle. David Tender will stay in bounds. He will get the first down, and that is the record maker, the hit maker. David Tender stands atop of the mountain with 5 rushing touchdowns.
Guys, just to break a little kayfabe, I saw that happen before you guys did. I'm here. There's a delay. We talked about it. You know how hard it was for me to not just groan audibly?
Yeah.
As this is happening in front of me?
Watch here on the replay. Spins back around.
Excuse me, sir.
Cha-cha, real smooth.
Yeah,
then he turns it up.
Bad. And they're just looking at this team just watching. And again,
to the left.
Hands
David Tender,
on your knees.
back now, y'all.
His elusiveness,
One
his
hop this
size,
time.
his speed, and strength. He's all right.
Just flip real smooth.
I will say that is a really good lucha roll. Like in terms of form and function.
Matt, what can't he do?
My taxes?
I'm not even gonna listen, I'm not even gonna make you put something in the jar for that, Matt. Shout outs to CJ. Again, one of the BDE quarterbacks coming in.
I don't like that you're saying that.
Trying to go for 2 to beat
Era.
the 60 boys one more time. CJ tosses it out of reach of the receiver. And that one will leave it 58-32.
He called CJ a BDE quarterback.
Yeah, before David era. I'm a BDE quarterback.
Stop saying it.
Coming soon to A7FLmerch.com.
The fans aren't enjoying absolutely obliterating me in the comments on Locker Room. Shout out to the
folks,
Locker Room
if you
chat.
want to get a David Tender customized jersey, go to tpg-sports.com. That's tpg-sports.com. Custom athletic uniforms for athletes of all sports and ages, whether you're Dan Giesling, whether you're me, or whether it's for a friend or family member. Get the custom athletic uniform of your favorite A7FL player, or for your team, or for your friends at tpg-sports.com, or scan the QR code right now. 58-32, you see the Baltimore Watchmen looking to run this one back. That's DK Butcher, set to return again for the Baltimore Watchmen at the top of the hour. We'll be riding through this game with you as long as we can. We'll be joined on Fox Soul, on Triller, TV Plus, and Fight 24/7 by Triller, and also A7FL.TV. We're live.
Guys, is this
on
a must-win game for the U?
Yeah.
Oh, today? Yeah. Yeah, and it's just unfortunate.
Must win against BICs.
Yes.
Is crazy work.
Yeah.
And now DK Butcher. The clock continuing to run here because of the score differential, and the ball got knocked out after the play, but it looks like it will be Baltimore with the ball after the 3-on-1 throw-off by Cal's. That's Shahid El Kabir.
Most teams score 32 in a game, and they're looking at their offensive sideline saying, like, hey, guys, we're doing the job. The Watchmen have put up 32, and that hypothetical injury to Buck happened really early in the game, guys. You guys remember when he went down on the knee, comes back into the huddle. Hasn't really been 100% since, but as much as Rob wants to just throw him in the trash over there and move on to Carlos Crosby, can we just say how much heart this man is coming out here and gutting it out?
And here we go. The clock will continue to run. 1st and 10. The toss off the screen. Tries to make something happen. The ball gets knocked out of play. The clock will continue to run here.
Now, this is something Corey Hammond knows a lot about. It's getting those fourth quarter, some would say garbage time yardages. And I'm all for this.
Peace in our time. 1:40 left to go. The Watchmen a little frustrated with how things went down. as they
Get
will
my man
walk out of
some.
here 58-32, more than likely, if they're not able to get another score here, as we're close
Get
to
my
the
man
top of the
Buck
hour.
some acetaminophen and some ibuprofen or whatever active ingredient is in a leave, I guess. I don't know.
And a timeout or a flag called. We'll wait on the official call here. Watchmen just burning daylight now. That's all they're doing. And with this game all but done for the Silk City Animals, setting themselves apart at the top of the league, this one is all over. Your final score, the Animals 58, the Watchmen 32. We're going to take a timeout. If you're joining us on A7FL.TV or DAZN, stay right where you are. But watch us on Fox Soul, watch us on Fight 24/7 or Triller TV. Plus, we'll be back at the top of the hour.